No warning.
Are you going to read or not?
Wow. It was him. That's fine. You can do the show.
Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy. And I'm Clarus. And this is the Nerdy, the Wordy, the Book Club.
No, please continue.
I will. And once I need to catch my breath, and then I'll do the show.
Right.
Do you think I can't do the show without you? Oh, please. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Friday morning here from the Nerdy Wordy Book Club at the Nerdy Nightly, a YouTube channel where the worst reactors on YouTube continue to make the worst reactions ever made by humanity. This week was especially fun because we got death threats, so thank you for that.
If you can't be the best at something, be the worst, you know? Because at least you're remarkable.
No, we're the best at being the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're the worst.
Thank you for joining the show, Clarus. How you doing today?
Well, I was doing just fine.
Were you?
I you know what I was? I was all right. I was like, I was ready, and then, you just,
I started the show on time.
Usually you're like 3, 2...
Usually. I am, but then this was funnier.
You let me down. I'm very disappointed in you.
So, for those of you wondering, Clarus is going to be extra spicy today because she did not sleep much last night. And so I'm going to have an extra fun experience book clubbing with my wife.
What do you mean? I'm delightful.
You are extra delightful when you have had a little bit more sleep. But when you've had a little bit less sleep, you get a little spicy, and I love it. It's fun.
I don't.
But Clarus,
I get sleepy.
Do you want to grab your project? Do you want to grab the reason you didn't sleep?
Do you want me to get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Chat, I need some validation that this was worth it. What do we think?
Oh, it stinks.
Yeah. That's the sealant. We love a good sealant. Get that shine. Look at that shine. Ooh.
Clarus was painting until 3 o'clock in the morning last night because this weekend is YetiCon.
Yeah.
That's Canada's ass. You know, Clarus, you do have Canada's ass.
Who was it? Jerusalem was like, you need to recreate the photo of yourself on the ground while yourself is standing there.
Sure, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Yeah, so Clarus was up all night painting that. And so I know I'm going to get some extra spicy takes from her this morning, and I cannot wait for them.
I'm not that... I just get tired. I'm not really like a grumpy person.
You're an extremely grumpy human being.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
You're just fucking gaslighting me right now.
There it is. So friends, it's time for some housekeeping at the top of the show. This is, for those of you who, maybe this is your first Nerdy Wordy Book Club, we're going to talk about the Wheel of Time eventually. Like every other Nerdy Wordy Book Club.
When we get to it. There's a lot to talk about, so we're going to have to get to it because we have a hard out.
I know, we have a hard out today. What is our hard? I don't know. Wait, we have a hard out? What's our hard out?
2.
2 o'clock?
Yeah.
Why is there
not allowed to go a minute over 2.
Is there a black bar under our video today? Do you have it up?
Are we good?
No, okay, it's just weird there. So, Clarus, housekeeping. The first housekeeping, as always, not as always, it's a relatively new thing. We have a Kickstarter going.
Oh, as always.
Yeah, the Kickstarter for the Nerdy Wordy Book Club. Nope. The
Nerdy
Kickstarter
Nightly.
For the role play relay. Joe White, thank you for welcome to the Narcs.
Welcome to the Nerd Table.
We're off to a great start.
Join the chaos.
We have a Kickstarter. It is less than $100 away from our first stretch goal. We are literally at almost 200% funded. And when we hit that first stretch goal, we will announce the next
stretch goal. Let's
go.
So
if you want to find out what the next stretch goal is, and maybe we'll double announce. Maybe we'll announce the next 2 stretch goals when we hit that. So if you want to hear a double announcement on stretch goals, tune in to that Kickstarter. And there's a bunch of things on there that you can only get there. Signed posters are probably mostly only going to be available through there. We're going to do some giveaways during the stream.
Snapchat access only available through the Kickstarter.
The Snapchat, the behind the scenes that all of the players will be adding to every single day when they remember. So like, expect that to slow down by day 5 or 6 when we're exhausted.
There'll be woo.
There's going to be so much excitement.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Takuda, thank you for dropping that link in the chat.
But
Let's
if you
go.
want truly the most unhinged behind the scenes you'll ever see in your life, get on over to the Kickstarter. Help us make the dumbest thing I've ever thought of come to life.
Yes.
Joe White is hashtag Team Clarus.
Thanks.
Fair.
See, I'm not grumpy. Chat thinks I'm delightful.
Is there any other housekeeping? If you're going to YetiCon this weekend in Bloom Mountain, come visit us. Come say hi. We are going to be there all weekend.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be around Bloom Mountain, taking part in the con, Clarus will be dressed in cosplays, and I will look like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will probably have a camera or multiple cameras slung around my neck. Also, y'all, we are going to be at Anime Expo in Los Angeles in a couple weeks. So if you're going to or are in the Los Angeles area, we are going to be there. We are maybe going to get to see Rogers the Musical while we're there at Disneyland. So
I'm going to bring my shield.
yes, you have to. When we go to, you have to go as Captain Canada.
Well, I know you're not allowed really to cosplay at Disney.
You're not allowed
but
to
you can play
cosplay
the
Disney characters.
Yeah, this is not a Disney character, so I think maybe we can get away with it.
Just have pants on so it doesn't look like it's a suit. And then we'll take the pants off on the side. Don't worry about it.
Just take my pants off at Disneyland.
Project Myrtle's also going to Disneyland. Let's go.
On Monday. Well, okay. Well, you're going a little bit earlier than we are. But have fun. Disney is such a good time.
But yeah, is there any other housekeeping? There is so much to talk about this week, so we're going to get into it quickly here because I don't know what y'all were thinking with the reading, but you were like, let's make week 2 a freaking week.
Yeah. It was a lot. Like in like a good way, but I was like, holy shit. And 2.5 kids. You have a half of a child? How did that happen? Is it like half yours or is it half of a kid?
Or is it just like a young kid, so it's smaller, so it feels like a half?
Or is the wife pregnant?
Pregnante?
Maybe.
Pregante?
I'm trying to figure out this 0.5.
Pregnant.
And I'm not good at math. It gets denser. Oh.
What gets denser?
The book.
Oh.
I'm assuming.
I mean, this was a lot.
Is 2.5 kids like a dog? Does the dog count as half a kid?
No. What?
One of my kids is just that much better than the other.
What?
It's fine, Project Myrtle. I won't tell.
Just Plus Infinity says Purgante. If you were not on the internet at a certain time, you might have missed the Quora video. But if you know what I am referencing, what's up? You and I are the same kind of terminally online delinquent. Can I get my wife pregnant?
I feel like that's like a core memory somewhere, but I don't actually remember it, you know?
You don't remember? Oh my god, I remember it vividly.
No, like Charlie the Unicorn took up that hard drive space.
The fuck is Charlie the Unicorn?
You've seen Charlie the Unicorn.
No, I have not.
Yes, you have.
What the fuck is Charlie the
talked
Unicorn?
About this.
We have never discussed the stream.
Did we lose?
We're back.
Oh, yeah, we're back.
Brief hiccup. What's up, everybody?
The internet couldn't handle that you missed Charlie the Unicorn.
All right. Well, cool.
Wow. One day I'll do a full dramatic reading of the episode 1. I don't know the other 3 episodes as well.
No idea what that is. All right. So, Clarus, we read The Towers of Midnight. Look at that. That was only 9 minutes of preamble. That's not bad.
Yeah, crushing it. It would have gone on longer, but I am just stunned about Charlie the Unicorn. I'm going to go cry.
We are 9 minutes in, so it's time to ask my dear beloved wife, may she rest in peace. Clarus, how did you feel about The Towers of Midnight, chapter 8 through 20?
I am not resting. I am active. I
have not rested since May 12th, 2020.
It's just been a long few years.
I haven't taken a day off since before COVID hit.
True. Honestly, rad. Guys, people are talking, and that feels great.
I thought you meant in the chat. You mean in the books.
People are also talking in the chat, and you know what? That also feels great. I love it when you guys are involved. Oh,
Joe G, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you so much.
What TTRPG, Tinker Trolloc Aes Sedai idea. Wheel weaves equals prophecy, Taveran reshape weave equals resist prophecy, all PCs Taveran resist plot. That was a lot of words.
I'm sorry, I
did not follow.
No idea what that means.
Tinker Trolloc Aes Sedai is a funny name for a Wheel of Time TTRPG though.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So, Clarice, how did you feel about
that sounds fun.
this section of book?
It's great. It's great. One of my least favorite tropes in storytelling. Every fucking time is I'm like, if the characters just fucking spoke to one another, things would be fine.
Yeah,
it happens a lot.
You are yelling.
I'm just matching your volume, you know.
Fair.
It is one of my like least favorite things. So I'm like, if you had literally just said this to this person, like things would move so much faster, or you wouldn't be in this terrible position. And so I am so happy that people are talking to one another. It brings me joy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
How are you feeling?
I feel like Brandon Sanderson and I have the same issues with Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
This section, everything since he took over, but this section in particular, I was like, oh, hey, look. Brandon Sanderson is like cleaning up the margins of this series in order to acknowledge some of the problems with the earlier books while also condensing some things down to the necessary sort of...
Robert Jordan needed Sanderson as an editor.
Yeah.
During books 7 through 9.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Because I think that like the stuff that still feels like I don't feel like the Robert Jordan of it all is lost. Like I don't feel like I'm reading a different series. But I do feel like I'm reading
a different author.
Yeah, but I specifically feel this happens sometimes when people revisit projects later on in their life as well.
Sure, yeah.
Where you take the time away from writing and trying to put out a book every year, and you sit down with like the criticisms of your earlier work, and then when you write the next one, you're like, you know what? I took like 4 years away from it. Yeah. And then I kind of went back and read my own stuff for the first time because I was trying to put out a book every year. Yeah. And then that next book feels like it is just an answer to the criticisms of the earlier stuff. Yeah. And this section to me really, I felt a lot of those things. A lot of these characters are communicating now in a way that is just a previously unseen in this series. And it's delightful. It's great. Like it's really like it's such a joy to read. Yeah. Because these characters have gone through so much, and you finally get to feel the maturity of that. Yeah. And I really loved it. I really enjoyed. I really enjoy Brandon Sanderson's writing. Yeah, me too. I think that he has a gift for battle sequences that he makes just very like intense and interesting to read. Going back to the prologue of this book with the young boy and his father and the sword, and then in this section with the Rodella Tiralde stuff, I feel like there was so much care in how these scenes are crafted in this book, and that was really evident this week in a way that was just a joy to read. Like I think that since Brandon Sanderson took over, the joy in the series is back, and also you know what, he didn't cut out all the boobs, right? We still get the titties, you know, the breasts are present, but like but in a way that never feels. It's like for specific characters and it's for specific reasons. Yeah, there's either a reason, even if it's a character reason, for the boobs to be spoken of, and most of the time it's Matt, but it's like that character's perspective, you know, like Faile comments on like Berlaine, right? But like I doubt that like Elaine as a character actually would go around noticing everybody's titties, unless Elaine is bi. Like, and I would love that with the Avienda relationship. Yeah. Like in my head, like that works. But there are definitely characters where like I can't imagine Nynaeve noticing titties all the time, and like she doesn't really in these later books. Whereas like before, it was kind of a general everybody thing, because I think it's what Robert Jordan noticed, and he was like, "Yeah, that's what people notice." Well, and I think that the strength of the differences in the point of views between how Branderson writes and how Robert Jordan writes is really interesting. I find. Because all I was reading for so long was Wheel of Time, I got used to how Robert Jordan was he would write POVs, but they were never genuine POVs because it was very rare that they would feel truly different from one another in the descriptions.
That is true.
The way things were described and the worldview of the narrative was the same in every single chapter. And I didn't have a problem with that. That's a writing style. It's not wrong, but there is something about how Brandon Sanderson differentiates the narrative description based on which character the POV is from.
Yeah.
That I think is just a stronger choice for this world.
Yeah.
Particularly because they're in such different places and these characters are such different people.
Yeah.
I think that there's a narrative strength to how Brandon Sanderson is using the difference in description to make it more interesting when he over-describes something.
Yeah.
Because it feels more like it is genuinely coming from that point of view.
Yeah.
Right? And I even noticed it because, there hasn't been a lot of nudity since Brandon Sanderson took over.
Right.
And there specifically was in Nynaeve's trial at the end, which we'll talk about at the end of this week. And the nudity did not feel objectifying because it felt like it was genuinely from Nynaeve's concern about her nudity.
Yeah.
And that, because it wasn't in every chapter leading up to it, it stood out more and it felt more personal.
Yeah.
Rather than feeling like an author choice.
Yeah, for sure.
It felt like it was an important thing for this character to be thinking about in the moment.
Yeah. Blue Light says, I don't know, I dislike the way Matt comments on women's bodies in the Sanderson books more than he did in Jordan's. And I think that's totally fair. I'm not saying that I like how Matt views women, but it feels like it's Matt's perspective.
Yes.
Like, it feels like a character, and it feels very specific. Do I love it? No.
Oh, no, it is my least favorite thing about this week.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's, way too horny. He feels like a 14-year-old more than he does a 20-year-old to me. But I've also never been a 14-year-old boy, so, I don't know. It's just kind of what I imagine, a 14-year-old boy sees when he's, gotten horny for the first time, and now everyone is hot.
Yeah.
So I totally get that. I also don't love how Matt talks about the women, but it feels like that character.
I'll be honest. I think the Matt stuff feels like it's trying a little bit too hard.
Fair.
It feels like it feels a little bit forced, especially with Elaine.
I actually loved the scene with Matt and Elaine together. It's Matt and every other woman.
No, I like the scene between them.
Yeah.
I didn't like the paragraph preamble about how attractive she is, where he's like, oh, she's put on some weight, she's so hot. Nope, I like thinner women now. And I was like, this is weird, and it just wasn't necessary for the scene.
He is trying way too hard.
Arazu Kashefapur, well, he's a married man who never got a wedding night.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Nerd Table.
I don't know if Sanchin have wedding nights, so that might,
Fair. But yeah, you're right. He didn't get the wedding night. He didn't get the honeymoon. We recorded a podcast for our wedding night.
We did. I think it's still online. You can go listen to the podcast we recorded the night of our wedding.
No, it's on Patreon only. We never posted it.
We should post that publicly.
I don't know.
We should listen to it and see what's in it.
Yeah,
I have no idea
so
what's in
awkward back then.
Is that it's really only Patreon only?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because
okay.
we were doing specific Patreon only podcasts at the time.
Around the Nerd Table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Joji, welcome to the Nerd Table.
Thank you, Joji. But yeah, no, yeah. And this isn't. I don't want this to come across as me sitting here just shitting on Robert Jordan, because that's not what this is. It is just. I just want to acknowledge some of the reasons why the enjoyment for the reading has picked up so much for me.
Yeah,
and this is a subjective thing. There are going to be people who do not like how Brandon Sanderson writes. Yeah. And there's going to be people who things like the Matt chapters are going to be such a detriment to the books that they're not going to enjoy them. And you're not wrong, and I'm not wrong, right? Our subjective enjoyment of these books is why I think book club is interesting, and why we do the reactions, even for shows that maybe we don't love 1,000%, is to be honest about our opinions about creative media, which I think is so valuable in environment where so much of the content around content is you have to be positive, you have to be hyper positive, or you have to be hyper negative, and there's no in between. And I think that what we try and do is have a really honest in between of even if I love this show 10,000%, I'm still gonna be honest about the thing about it I don't like.
Yeah.
And I loved Robert Jordan's writing. Robert Jordan's writing got me back into reading. This book club got me back into reading every week, which I think is such a great thing for my brain. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for the community that we've built. But then at the same time, it fell off for me, and it became a slog for me personally, as well as, you know, the slog of the books. Yeah. And I'm so back in this world because of Brandon Sanderson's different approach. And whether that's because it was kind of the same writing over and over again, and it's just having a different author's writing is a breath of fresh air for the fact that I was only reading Wheel of Time and the occasional Star Wars book for a while.
Maybe.
That might be a part of it as well.
Maybe.
I don't want to discount that. But yeah, it's just, it was really interesting this week to be so in love with really simple scenes again, just because I noticed the point of view differences this week a lot, and it drew me in.
Yeah, I feel ya.
I will say, before we get into it, guys, this timeline is a mess. And this week was tough because of that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, where, when, what?
It is the thing that doesn't work in this book. Is like, there's... I
don't actually agree that it doesn't work, because once I understood it, I was like, okay, this makes sense. I don't love it, but I think it's fine. Like, for me personally, I could see it, like, people being like, that doesn't work for me. But I just want to be honest. For me, like, I wasn't like, no, this doesn't work. I was just kind of a bit confused, and then I was like, oh, no, I get it.
Here's the thing. The reason why I say it doesn't work isn't because I think that it, like, is... it, like, takes me out of the book so much I can't enjoy it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work because I legitimately don't know when things are happening. Like, I actually don't. I don't know when things are.
Yeah. And
part of it is they'll, like, cut to Rand, and he's clearly post the mountain, and then they'll cut back to Elaine, and she's like, oh, I don't know that Egwayne is the Amerlin seat, but Matt is here. Like, I have no idea when the events of this book are taking place.
Yeah.
At all. And, like, I get it, and it's fine, and, like, I'm able to enjoy the chapters and the individual plot lines I like. But, like, when Egwayne and Elaine are having a conversation, and it feels like, to me, they are in completely different timelines, I do struggle with that a little bit.
Totally valid. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. This is Chapter 8, The Seven Striped Lass, Towers of Midnight. Penultimate book. I finally said the word. Let's go.
You have to fit it into every single episode.
Matt looks at every woman's tits in all of Camelin, and most of them, pretty good.
Next chapter.
No. There's more to it than that.
No, I know.
We find out that he wrote a letter to Elaine. She hasn't responded yet, but that's fine. Matt is kind of, he's waiting around with that letter from Perrin, and he's mostly just like playing dice, doing some shit, when he hears from a man in a tavern that there was a body.
There was a murder!
A murder! And yeah, the throat was ripped out and all the blood was gone.
And Matt's like, wow, that sounds familiar. Uh-oh.
Does he?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this before.
No?
No.
Yeah, I was just reading The Wheel of Time, actually.
I've heard it's very long.
It is very long.
I've heard it's very long. And I've heard that, there's not a lot of gay men in it. It's mostly just a lot of, like, very bisexual women.
You know what? You can just add your own headcanon. Yeah. You know, like, hey, Matt and Tom Haynes probably, like, having a good time.
Knocking boots, as they say.
Yeah, you're in the army, you get lonely.
So he freaks out and goes and finds Tom. Tom is performing like a madman. He's gigging. He's straight gigging all over town.
I don't like that.
Gigging?
Yeah, it sounds...
Like giggity?
Yeah, it
Do you
just
have,
sounds...
like, Quagmire PTSD?
No, I didn't really watch Family Guy.
I don't mean from watching the show. I mean from how that was every boy's sense of humor for, like, 4 years.
Yeah, that's probably it, actually.
But like, really, like, there was a point
where
like, every boy was, like,
giggity. And you're like, okay, I get it. Like,
yeah. I'm glad giggity kind of died.
Same. It's better now that it's, like, occasional, you know?
Yes.
You throw it in there every once in a while. It's a lot funnier.
Yeah. But no, he's straight gigging. And they go back to the camp.
I love that Tom throws a knife at him and is like, oh, sorry, I didn't recognize you for a moment.
He thought he was stealing his coin.
Okay. Like,
look, I'm telling you right now, don't try and steal.
Don't fuck with Tom Maryland.
If a person, whether they are performing, whether they are unhoused, if they've got a cup in front of them, don't try and steal that from them. That person wants that money more than you do, and they will beat the shit out of you. I promise you. Leave them alone. Unless you're giving them money, which... and they go back to the camp where Teslin comes over and is like, yo, I gotta go. I gotta go to the White Tower. And he's like, all right.
I gotta go.
And she apologizes. She says that he's great. It's like actually like
It's like a good scene.
it's almost like some of the Aes Sedai are human beings.
Yeah.
It was so strange.
It's great. And like I love that Teslin is a red, like, because the reds are always like evil, other than Pivara.
Mm-hmm.
Every other red that we've and I guess like Sylviana, even though she kind of was like viewed as evil at first because she was the one like beating Elaine. But like I like when the reds act like human beings as well, and don't just hate men. Like I was thinking about this and I was like, the reds feel almost like the Hufflepuff of this world in a way where it's like
what.
The prerequisite to being a red is hating men. Like, you know, like...
How does that feel like a Hufflepuff?
It's like the extra stuff.
No, the prerequisite to being a Hufflepuff is nobody else wants you.
Well, but that's kind of what it is, right? If you're a white, you're like logical and like cool and calm, collected. If you're a brown, you're like a researcher. Like all the other ones have like very like clear-cut, useful things, and the reds hate men.
See, I disagree. I think the greens are the Hufflepuffs.
Well, I guess because there's no, like, battles.
The greens are where you go if you want to, like, get high with a bunch of hot dudes.
And just have orgies.
Yeah, that is Hufflepuff to a T. The reds are Slytherin. They're ambitious, and they hate anyone who isn't them.
It just felt like the leftover, like, okay, we need one more, and we need a personality trait for them, and their personality is they hate men. I'm just saying that, like, Teslin feels like a nice, like, refresh from that. And so did Pivara, but we haven't seen Pivara in a very long time. And also, Pivara is not interacting with men. It was nice to see Teslin interacting with Matt and not hating his guts. Troy, thank you for that super chat. Giggity jokes in this economy. You got it.
I will end this podcast. This will be the final episode.
This is it. The Nerdy Wordy Book Club is over.
I will turn this car around.
All right, Dad.
I will cancel episodes.
We're not going to Disney.
Minute. No, we are going to have to move the schedule on, though, so pay attention to that. We are going to have to cancel 3 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today?
I thought we were doing, like, early.
Maybe. We're going to see.
Yeah, it depends on our internet.
Yeah. We're going to be in LA for 10 days, so a great time for the roleplay relay. So we might have to move one episode, but it's fine.
Yeah, it might...
We'll still get Towers of Midnight done before the relay.
Yeah.
And
just
so...
keep an eye on the schedule. Join the Discord.
Matt is as pleasantly surprised by Teslin's behavior as I was.
We are.
So he's like, you know what? Fine, you can have horses. I'm not going to be a dick about it. Even though we find it kind of is. But no, he actually is like...
The horses? No.
No. With something else.
With Jolene.
Yeah.
Later.
Not with Teslin. No, with Jolene.
No, yeah.
But no, it's sweet. And... No, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed this a lot. It was fantastic. The problem is, Corin says just pre-record the recap. The problem is the recap will be like weeks later, so it's not the right time.
Wrong book club.
So then he goes to his tent because he's tired and he smells blood because Matt is a vampire now.
No, you
canonically.
can smell blood.
Can you smell blood?
Yeah.
Can you, though, in, like, that time where Matt probably, like, everything just smells terrible?
I mean, yeah, if an entire body was, like, bleeding out on your floor, I feel like that's a lot of blood.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not that I've ever been in a room with, like, a dead body that's bleeding out. I just imagine...
My understanding of medieval times is that everything just smelled awful all the time. So I feel like you would probably just smell horse manure.
But like inside the tent.
But it doesn't go
like
inside
contained.
The tent. He smells it while he's still outside the tent.
No, he opens the tent flap and he smells blood.
Oh.
And then he ducks. Got him. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Golem
I misunderstood.
There.
I thought he was like at the door and it's just like.
No, yeah. He like opened the tent flap and it kind of like was like, oh shit. And so he ducked. Very lucky, guys. Matt, I don't know if you know, that's very lucky. And he fights the Golem. He's like practiced with his Ashandarai. He's like put it on the thing, and I was like,
but
sure?
like, how does that work?
I don't know. That I don't know. I was just kind of like, cool.
And Matt, and we'll get to how he's gonna kill the Golem later, right? Elaine's obviously gonna help him with that. But that Matt,
yes,
because I think Elaine's going to turn the tip of his Ashandarai into whatever that is. I think she's going to give him the ability to kill the Golem.
Oh, I just figured, I don't know. I figured she'd like, I don't know. I feel like the Ashandara is like a special weapon that like probably couldn't be altered. Like it feels like it's made of some kind of power. So I just thought she would like make a knife or something for him to like
sure, or that
at the last minute.
That too. I just don't understand what tying the necklace to the spear, how that helps him.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of like, I wasn't able to visualize it in my head, but I was like, it's fine, it works.
Well, and he says that the Ashandarai cut the leather cord, and I was like, but then how did it stay on? I found all of this very confusing.
Yeah. Like, I'm imagining he just, like, wrapped it around and it was kind of, like, swinging off of the thing.
Off of a blade, though?
Off of, like, just under the blade?
Yeah, that's what I thought, too. But then I'm like, how do you hit the golem with it? So Matt fights the golem.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, this whole fight was very confusing to me to read. But the golem is very scary. Other than the fact that it comes and goes at the speed of plot.
Well, yes, although we do find out that now Matt is the most wanted out of anyone. My master wants you dead the most. Mm-hmm. So the golem's actually trying now, I guess.
As opposed to before when the golem wasn't trying?
Well, I think the golem was, like, being used more sparingly to, like, go after... Like, it seemed like it was probably intended for, like, the big three. But then they were like, no, we want Matt dead most of all. So
this gets into a problem I have with long-running stories, is that there are times where you have to acknowledge that you've been goofing. And the golem is acknowledging for the audience, I've been goofing. Yeah. You know who else who's been goofing? Slayer. Like, these characters have so much power. Same with the Forsaken, right? And this gets into my issue with all of the villains in this series. They seem super weak because they're fucking around.
Well, because there's so many characters.
Yeah.
Meaning you have to spend a lot of time with each of them to flesh them out.
Yeah.
And then so in the characters that are in the background, particularly the villains, also need to feel like the same amount of time is passing for them.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult to do. I think sometimes it works. And sometimes it's like, the golem is just, it's around, and now it's back. Like, it's fine. You acknowledge it, you move on. There's, I don't know if there's anybody who's, like, perfect at that. I think that that's really, really hard to master.
It is. I just think that this series is particularly weak at that. I think the more so than any other fantasy series that I've ever read, I think that the way in which the villains are used in this series is detrimental to the storytelling.
Yeah, it's not your favorite.
Particularly, like, with the golem, with Slayer, right? Like, Slayer was finally mentioned again.
Yeah.
But it's been, like, 5 books, and the last time we saw him, he killed 2 random people while they were sleeping.
Yeah, it's like, what?
And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, Slayer's just, like, murdering people in their beds, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know who he's killing.
Slayer is the one that feels the weirdest to me, because he, like, was there in, like, book 6, I think? Was it 6 or maybe 7?
7 was the last time we saw him.
Yeah, like it's been like a while, and so Slayer is the one that just feels really weird to me because I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck have you been doing? Slayer also definitely works for Moradin.
Yes.
So Slayer's got to been up to something. I know Slayer was murdering a bunch of wolves, but Perrin hasn't mentioned that in a long time. So that's the one that like feels weird. But
but Paden Fane is the same to me. The last time we saw Paden Fane, well, I mean, obviously we saw him in the prequel of this book. But, you know, like, Paden Fane just kind of, like, comes and goes. Like, these characters...
The thing with Paden Fane, though, is that because he's a little off his rocker, he's kind of bopping around doing things. I can justify that in my head. I'm like, he's all over the place. Like, and he's not beholden to somebody who is incredibly intelligent, being like, go... Like, the Golem is like, you go here and do this task.
But Paden Fane is beholden to his own... sense his own desires, and we are told he's very tunnel visioned about the 3, and especially Rand, right? And so I again, like, it is fine, it is what it is. I just think that, like, right now this scene in particular with the golem literally being like, but now I'm actually coming for you, I was like, so before we were goofing. Okay, fine. Moving on. We're moving on.
Okay.
We acknowledge that this is a little bit silly, and we're moving on.
Yeah.
But, it is kind of the issue that I have with all of these villains, is that the ones who disappear for long stretches of time are the ones that stick around, and anyone that actually tries to fight our heroes just dies. And there's kind of not really an in between.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
Yeah. Oliver is not dead. If you were worried for a moment, I mean, I wasn't. I feel like that would have been a weird tonal shift from Matt talking about boobies in the town and then coming to find Oliver dead. That would have been like, oh, fucking, like, whoo. Oliver's not dead. It's fine.
Well, but also that would be so unsatisfying.
Oh,
because Brigitte has not realized that Oliver is Guy Dalkane yet.
Do we still think that?
Yes, they don't. You don't spend this much time being like, hey, she falls in love with the ugliest fucker in the world, and then introduce the ugliest fucking child ever to exist.
Yeah.
And have him be pulled into a Taviran randomly in the middle of town one day, and then like it is going to be, if he's not Guy Dalkane, it is going to be so fucking weird.
It would be weird. Yeah, it would, but it is also weird that Brigitte is a fully grown person and Oliver is a child.
Because she got pulled out wrong.
No, I know, but it goes into the weird like Twilight thing where Jacob like imprints on an infant, and it's like no, it's totally platonic until they're of age. Like it's just like
I don't think they get together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
I thought they were like fated by the wheel to always get together.
No, because Brigitte's not fated anymore.
Oh.
No, I think that when she discovers that Oliver is Guidal, it is going to be devastating because she's going to know that she is not part of that cycle anymore. And so he is no longer fated to her because she is outside of fate now. By getting pulled out of the cycle, she loses that. I think it's going to be emotionally fucking awful when she realizes that is Guidal and we will never again be what we once had, and she can't even remember what she once had.
Turned out by the wheel, yeah.
Like those memories are going away on her.
Yeah.
Right, and so I don't think she's gonna be like, when you're 18, we're gonna. And
that's what I was like. That's weird. I really hope we don't get into like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
But like, and even in this section, like, is it Tom that says like, oh no, Oliver's definitely gonna be he's growing up to be a soldier. Or a career soldier, like there's just that element of it where you're like, oh yeah, this is a part of this character. He's born to be this because he's
and we also know that a third person goes to the Tower of Genji. Do you think Oliver goes? Because if Oliver goes into this weird other plane of existence, right, where the elves are, what the fuck are they called? Elfin things. Where those things are, maybe like Oliver, like, I don't know, gets magically like gets all those memories, like has like a snap moment if he like goes to that other plane of existence. I don't really understand what that plane of existence is. We know that the third goes. It's probably Noel, but I think like Oliver going would be really interesting. Or him going will fuck up the whole plan.
Yeah.
Because he's very determined. You know, he's stuck around.
Yeah.
But yeah. Joe, thank you so much for that super chat. Caught up to start a gathering storm. Sympathy for your meta slog in the slog. Nerdy, great to see you rising back out. Brings binging softens pain. Yeah, it definitely was harder because we spread it out over weeks, but like.
No, that's not it. Reading it faster would not make it more interesting.
No, I think they like having to stop and talk about it every section. It was like still kind of have the same problems. Like we were adding onto the slog because we had to like talk about it.
I don't agree that would make my enjoyment of the books more.
No, I think it made it worse. Like I think.
No, I'm saying reading faster. I don't think like reading the books faster would have made me enjoy the writing more. Like my issue with it wasn't that I wanted to get to the next thing and I had to wait. My issue was actively while I was reading it going, I don't like these decisions.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Like no matter how fast I read these books, the things that I don't like about them are still in the books. Mm-hmm. And like the elements of the slog where you're just kind of sitting there like, especially, you know, and stuff that we've talked about on the show over and over and over again, to the point where people are probably sick of hearing about it, right?
Right. We're not going to get into it.
I've seen the comments, you're sick of hearing about it. But like, you know, like reading all of those spankings faster for me does not make me sit there and go, you know what, the number of spankings in this isn't as detrimental to the reading experience because I got through them. You're just condensing the spankings together.
I just think that like stopping to talk and think about it, for my experience anyways, definitely made it worse. Whereas I could have kind of just breezed through and that could have been like a wash. But stopping, talking about it, breaking it down, like...
Oh, it definitely could have been a wash, but it wouldn't be better.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
Like, ignoring something to me isn't a better experience. Or like glazing over it.
Yeah, no, I yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was.
Snow Wolf, thank you for joining the nerds.
Snow Wolf, hello! It's good to see you. Welcome to the nerd table.
But I have that same thing, like, you know, with seasons of television that I don't like in shows that I really like. Like, yeah, I'll binge through them if I'm doing a rewatch, but they're not like better because I'm just getting through them faster.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that like. But that's also me as a person. Like, when I love something, I love it wholeheartedly. I like live and breathe it, and it becomes a part of who I am. And when I don't, I reject it wholeheartedly. And I think that like that's just how my brain works. And I think that what is interesting about us and our reactions is that I am not a normal brained person. And
we are both neurospicy.
Yeah, and I think that like
I think we attract neurospicy people.
Yeah, but I run very hot and cold on things where like if I think it's brilliant, I will like scream it from the top of a mountain because I want everyone to know how brilliant I think it is.
Yeah.
If you've watched The Flash review, like is The Flash the worst movie ever made? No, but if you watch that review, you might think that I think that it is because there's not a lot of middle ground for me. I either love things or I like really detest the fact that I spent time on them. And
yeah.
I know that about myself. And like
that.
if people want a different experience from that, if people want people who have more like I didn't like it, but I don't care opinions, there's other channels and they'll give you that experience. This is how I experience the world. I run very hot and I run very cold. That's why it took me forever to find someone to be in a relationship with for a significant amount of time because most people I dislike. I'm very kind to them. I'm not like mean, but like I don't want to spend that much time around most people.
Yeah. His mom told before we got married. Nerdy's mom was like, "Yeah, I was always just really worried because I just never thought he would find anybody that he liked enough." And I was like, "Yeah, thanks."
And that's how I experience the world, and that's why I like sharing my experience.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that some people like that, and I also know that other people don't like that.
And everyone's is gonna be totally different.
I'm just confused about the people who don't like it still watching it. Like, why are you? Just go away.
That's true.
If this is a bad experience for you, why are you here? But whatever. Let's keep going. Matt finds a bunch of dead bodies. He fights the golem, and then
it's just the three.
Look, 3 bodies is a bunch of dead bodies to me.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know how many dead bodies to you are a bunch. But 3, if I walked into a room and there were 3 dead bodies, I would be like, that's a bunch of dead bodies.
I would say that it's a few. A bunch is 4 or more.
What?
Sorry. No,
it's not a bunch. It's 3 dead bodies.
Sorry.
Sorry, I will be more specific. And then the golem is like, I'm allowed to kill you now, but today I'm not going to do that. Today I'm going to run away.
He's like, the golem is still not allowed to draw too much attention to himself. So that's kind of how Matt gets.
What does that mean?
It's out of here.
He's fighting in the middle of the fucking camp. The golem was like, the plot doesn't want us to do this yet, and so I'm going to run away, even though I should probably do this now. Because I'm here and you and I are fighting each other. So the golem tells Matt that he's gonna go to fucking Ebu Dar and kill his wife, because that makes more sense than just fighting Matt right now when he's right in front of you. And he fucks off. He also mentions Tom, and he mentions was it Tom Maines? He mentions some people, but he specifically doesn't mention Oliver.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I think Oliver is Guidel Kane. Because
he's tied to the wheel.
Yeah. And the golem isn't allowed to go after Oliver because of some other bullshit.
Or he can't for some reason.
Yeah. Or because he's a hero of the horn, Oliver has some kind of
aura.
Or
Tavirin.
or a place in the prophecies that Morden has. and Oliver needs to be somewhere later on.
Oh,
right?
For the prophecies. Interesting.
Well, I thought...
Right, there's a whole book of them that we haven't read.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, maybe because Mor didn't send the Golem, maybe Oliver has a place in that we don't know about yet.
Interesting.
I wouldn't have thought that until recently. Yeah. But now that we have this, it's like, oh, okay, so there's got to be a reason.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Matt tells his peeps, he's like, hey, the Golem is here, so we're going to go hunt it down.
Lopen is one of those dead. The manservant. Yes, very sad.
Matt can no longer take care of himself.
And the thing that I find so fascinating about it is that Matt complains about Lopen so much, and it literally is like 2 days of beard growth that causes him to totally, like, bounce back. And I'm like, does Brandon Sanderson not grow facial hair? Because he might not, but your beard doesn't itch until, like, day 6.
I wouldn't.
Like, you don't feel it on day 2.
I thought it had been, like, a week. I thought it was, like, a week's worth of growth.
Oh, that would make more sense. I thought it was, like, the next day. I was like, it doesn't...
No, I think we jumped a few days.
Okay, I missed the jump in a few days. Because I was literally like, Matt, like... What kind of beard growth itches on day, like, 1 or 2?
Maybe everyone has different beard itch levels.
I don't know.
Some people is like day 2 or 3, fuck no, but day 6, fine. I'm guessing, I don't know.
I'm usually fine by day 6, but it's like day 4 or 5, maybe like the morning of day 6. That's where it's, like, tough, right? A Wheel of Time week is 10 days. By day 10, you're not itchy anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
And so as a bearded boy, this bugged me. I was like, he shouldn't be itchy here.
Yeah,
it's too soon.
Wouldn't know. So
yeah.
I was like, sure.
Yeah, I was a little, you know. It took me out of it much in the same way that, like, the frozen ice sequence took me out of it.
Oh yeah.
With Egwayne, where I was like, that's not how ice works.
Survive. Patrick, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, so Matt basically is like, gonna stay at a different inn every night, try and confuse the Golem, trying to protect people, and then Jolene is like, hey, we're gonna leave. Can we get some horses? And Matt's like, yeah, I already told Teslin that you could, so get out of here. And
he's so nice though. He's so nice. He gives Jolene a box of sweet buns.
Is that in this chapter? Or is that the start of the next one?
Isn't this when they leave?
I think this is when she's like, we're going to return to the White Tower.
Sure.
And then maybe it's the next one. But, yeah. Joe, thank you for that super duper
also,
chat.
Also, Patrick and Dare, thank you for that super chat.
Yeah,
both of you. You did? I missed that one. Sorry.
It's all good.
Joe, thank you for that. A lot of dead bodies. This sounds like one of those how many people does it take to make an orgy arguments. It's disturbing. You can't have an orgy until 5.
5?
Yeah. Because if it's 4, it's 2 couples.
Yeah. So it's got to be 5.
An orgy requires it to be more than 2 couples.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, here's the thing. They don't have to be couples, but if it's 4 people, you have 2 pairs, right?
Yeah.
An orgy doesn't start till 5.
You gotta have the 5th to connect them, you know? Yeah, that's fair. Mathany, thank you for that super duper chat. And Sammy as well. The grime is a misconception spread by pop culture. They did care about hygiene back then. Also, Wheel of Time is not in a medieval setting. You wrestled my keyboard back from my smartass cat. Hi, Sammy.
I'm not sure what you mean by a misconception. Things smelled worse.
Yeah, I think
we know that we know how much, partially because we know how much effort went into oils and perfumes. Like smelling salts and perfumes to hide how bad things smell.
I don't think it's that things were like dirty, but it took a lot more effort to like get things clean.
Matt is also in a soldier's camp where it's gonna smell like shit.
Yeah, I'm assuming like the camp would not smell.
I don't know if you've ever been to a Renaissance fair nowadays. They smell bad.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like they weren't hygienic because you'd have to be, right? Diseases were just a lot more common. Yeah. You would want to make sure that it was clean. But yeah, from what I understand, like it wouldn't smell very good.
I mean, I worked on a farm, y'all, like in 2010. Yeah. No, 2009. There is no amount of cleanliness that cures animal stink. I'm sorry. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, the horses
If you've only ever lived in a city, I think that you might have that perception of like, oh, it can't be that bad. When you live on a farm, it smells for miles. You can smell the farm 3 miles down the road.
Well, and we would rehearse above the fucking barn
at
Young Canadian. Oh my God, some days it was fucking brutal.
Yeah, I know these people
nasty.
wash themselves. I'm not saying they're like dirty. I'm just saying that it's gonna fucking stink in that camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you're right about the hygiene part of it. We were just commenting more on like the smell.
I literally just said horse stink. I wasn't even saying Matt smelled himself. I literally just meant horses.
Oh well, and
when you put hundreds of horses together, it reeks.
It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people are like, nah, it's fine.
But. Yeah, and if you have lines of horses shitting next to your camp, that shit wafts, man. It goes for you can smell that. Camelin, that everyone is a league away. Everyone in Camelin can smell that horse stank. I promise you. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. We get to chapter what?
Jay Abbott says, I grew up on a farm. We called that smell country perfume. It was everywhere all the time.
Country perfume, huh?
Yeah. Arzu, thank you for 5 gifted members.
Arzu, thank you so much.
Welcome to the nerd table.
Let's
to
go.
all of those people, including Dakuna. Thank you for gifting one to the mods.
Yeah. We
to
got
the mods.
Some green in the chat. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. We get the chapter after the taint, which was very interesting. We get a Perrin chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Perrin's inspecting.
Yeah, so after the taint comes the butthole, right?
That's what I said. You stole my joke.
Did you say that just now?
No, I said that yesterday.
Okay, well, you didn't say it on the show, and if you don't say it on the show, it doesn't count.
It's fine. Just taking
What's
credit.
yours is mine.
You know what? Marriage.
Marriage.
You're right.
Marriage is what brings us together today.
After the taint comes the butthole is just the part that got cut. That should have been the stream title, but we definitely would have been demonetized.
Yeah, they've been trying to... The book club has been demonetized a lot lately.
We get a little spicy.
Yeah.
Little spicy.
Not demonetized. Limited monetization.
Sorry, limited.
For ad suitability reasons.
Can't imagine what that would be. Anyways,
what? The smut corner?
The white cloaks.
Yeah.
They've got Gil and their people, and it's not a good time. But Grady is like, hey, they don't have channelers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have Ashman or Aes Sedai, like, so we have a huge advantage over them. Like, they're gonna get fucked.
Yeah, I was really disappointed by Galad in this chapter. I think that Galad is... Here, okay, so Perrin is basically walking around his camp. He's just hanging out with people. And the Ashaman and the Aes Sedai, they managed to form a circle.
Yeah.
So everyone's super happy about that. Good times. They're going to send some people to Kyrian. But then Dane Bornhold walks up with a white flag and is like, hey, the Lord Captain Commander wants to meet with you. Just down the road a little bit, quick talk. He promises safety. No big deal, right? And you can bring your Ashman, or you can bring your Aes Sedai. He doesn't know about the Ashman. It doesn't matter. Just come hang out. And Perrin is like, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll do it. Don't tell Faile. Well, I'll tell her if there's going to be a more formal parlay, but for now I'm just going to go have a quick talk. Which I think is the right call, because I think that Faile would have gummed up the works here a little bit. But Galad sending Dane Bornhold to me is bad leadership.
Yeah. Because Bornhold has a personal vendetta against Perrin. Like, I'm sure Bornhold insisted, but Galad should have been like, no.
Yeah.
No.
You don't send the person who is so personally attached. And I think that Galad is making a lot of decisions here because of Bornhold's emotional connection to the situation.
Here's the thing.
That is going to either get a lot of people killed or he's going to get lucky, but there's no in between.
I think that the author sent Bornhold so that Perrin could have this tie to the White Cloaks back from book 1. Right? Like because they make that connection a lot. Oh, I have to finish what I started. Like, this thing from my past I need to, like, deal with. And so I think that Bornhold was there mostly for, like, the symbolism of it, even though I don't think that he is a good choice for, like, that Galad should have sent. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that. Turvok says, does Galad know that Bornhold is emotional at this time?
Yes.
Bornhold said that man killed my father.
Yeah.
So I would assume so.
I think he would, yeah.
I think Galad can put those two things together. Yeah, no, I think that Galad is really... Galad comes out of this looking so much worse
than the last
than
time
he
we
previously did.
I know.
He seemed so reasoned and level-headed, and like he was genuinely doing the right thing in a way that was trying to benefit the last battle.
And now it's no longer about benefiting the last battle. He's like, no, we have to fight Perrin, even though Perrin has better numbers and magic users. Like, he's just gonna get everybody killed.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that because I thought the goal was to go towards the last battle. And Perrin even tells him, I'm going to the last battle. Like, bro.
Well, and Galad also hears in their interaction, because Perrin goes and they have an interesting conversation where Galad makes an accusation and Perrin says, "Oh, your sources are not reliable."
Yeah.
And Galad goes, "Nah, I believe him."
Yeah, just doesn't question it at all.
All right, dude. Cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously as we go through these chapters, Perrin keeps being like, "I want to have a deeper conversation before we fight." And Galad's just like, "No, we're fighting."
Nah, we fighting.
And
like, why?
I think like maybe worried about being manipulated, or I'm not really sure. But Galad is in such a weak position going into this fight.
But they also believe in the light so hard that like Galad should believe that the light will guide him in those conversations and that he won't get manipulated. So I don't really like right, like Galad should be able, because he is blessed by the light, to differentiate and not get sucked into the shadow. Like I just the way that they think about the light and how it protects them in a way is sometimes used and sometimes is just like, nah, forget about that. So that one's a bit wishy-washy to me, but
I was also kind of hoping it would come up. I was hoping he'd be like, "You killed Bornhald's father," and Perrin would be like, "No,
right?
I didn't. I was there,
like,
but I didn't do it."
Yeah.
Daishan says Galad may also have misconceptions about people with golden eyes. I guess I just like,
but I've never heard of it before. He's like sees something different and is like, evil, must be, it has to be the only explanation for it. Speak easy, welcome back to the nerd table. I like the contrast of Perrin and Galad here. Both want to do it right, but Perrin thinks about what's right first. Galad seems to trust his gut. Sure, I just think that like...
I was hoping that Galad was going to come off a little smarter.
It seems
he seemed very like,
and not logical.
Well, and it seemed a little bit like, I got to do this for my bro. You know what I mean? And he's so influenced by Bornhald in this, and it was just a little bit disappointing. I would have preferred a version of this where Galad was a little bit more inquisitive, honestly.
Yeah, and I think what's gonna happen is in the Wolf Dream, Perrin sees this like signet ring.
Sorry, Oh no, you read that. Sorry.
Perrin sees the signet ring. I think that's gonna be Galad's signet ring or whatever. He's gonna mention it, and Morgase is gonna be like, "What?" while she's like serving tea.
Yeah, I love that Galad doesn't introduce himself.
Yeah, no, he's not like, "My name is." Like,
they're like the Lord Captain Commander, and no one is like,
okay,
Galad Damodred. Just so that, because I would love the version of the scene where Perrin is like, "Oh shit, no way, you're half brothers with my best friend Rand, and half sisters with his pregnant girlfriend." Wait, that's weird. You're run that back. You're half brothers with my best friend Rand, and your half sister is his pregnant girl. How did that happen?
Wait, Gawain's not with Rand.
Rand is half brothers with Galad.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant
and
Gawain.
Elaine is half-sister to Galad.
Oh, yeah.
And Rand got Elaine pregnant, even though they're
not like blood related.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Bruno.
But no, Rand,
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Gawain, and I was like, Gawain's not there. But
No, Rand and Galad are half-brothers. Yeah. To Grain.
Yeah. Why do they mow the fucking lawn on Fridays?
I don't know. But yeah, this conversation was interesting in that Galad was running so much more on emotion than I felt like he had been recently. And so I was just a little disappointed in him. I think that he could have come out better by being a little bit more inquisitive and by approaching the situation. You know what it is? He comes in with his assumptions rather than coming in with the intent of pulling information out of Perrin to help him in his fight.
And Perrin doesn't want to, like, fight him. Like, I feel like that should be a reason that you would ask questions.
Yeah.
Right? Perrin has the larger force and the magic numbers, and he doesn't want to fight you.
Well, but
That
Galad's not worried
says
about the magic.
Something.
Because Galad doesn't know about the Ashaman.
No, but there's probably Aes Sedai.
But that doesn't matter, because the Aes Sedai can't attack him. Galad
if their lives are at stake, yes, they can. So if
sure,
they put the Aes Sedai on the very front lines at the charge...
But they won't do that. The Aes Sedai wouldn't... Galad knows the Aes Sedai would never stand there.
No, he does not know that.
Yes, he does. He knows the Aes Sedai as well. He trained in the White Tower. He knows the Aes Sedai are not going to go stand in front of the army.
No, but he knows that if the Aes Sedai are in danger, they can use the power to protect themselves.
I know, he's not worried about that because they're going to be in the back not doing that.
Maybe
he trained with the warders. He knows exactly how the Aes Sedai fucking function, and no one is going to convince the Aes Sedai to go stand in a line in front of an army and take a charge. No commander on fucking Randland is going to be able to pull that shit off.
Yeah.
I would love it, but...
Perrin did not admit to killing the White Cloaks. He, stiffened up, or whatever. And so Galad is like, oh no, that's true.
It is true.
It is true. Yeah. But, Galad infers from Perrin's, body language as opposed to what Perrin says. And so,
Oh, no. I think that it isn't a matter of, them eventually fighting being wrong. I don't think Galad is wrong for wanting to fight here. I just wish that he had been more inquisitive, not towards peace, but towards, I wish that his intentions seemed to be more inquisitive towards sussing out Perrin to try and figure out how to beat him on the battlefield. I'm not saying that, I'm disappointed that Galad is angry at Perrin. I'm saying that Galad brings so much emotion to this conversation that I don't think that Galad walks away with a better understanding of how to win.
And here's the thing, we've seen Galad...
I'm glad I closed the window, Jesus Christ.
I know, that fucking lawnmower. Galad has shown himself to be able to be cool and logical in the face of, very emotional circumstances with Valda, right? Valda was a horrible person who did terrible things to his mother.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Galad was able to, just, pull himself together, and he doesn't do that here. It's just odd. It's just... strange.
Yeah.
Very strange.
And it would have been nice to feel like Galad was a better military commander.
Yeah.
Whereas this made him seem like a good soldier.
Yeah.
Right? He seems like a very good, individual battler.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a lot of, he doesn't come across the way that, Rodel Iturralde comes across in conversations, or Davram Bashir, or Gareth Bryan, right? Where those men approach situations like this with the, intellectual intent to make their army position stronger through these negotiations.
Yeah.
And Galad, and maybe that's it. I think that I'm just disappointed that Galad betrays his immaturity in this scene.
Yeah, because Galad murdered a White Cloak, but Perrin killing 2 White Cloaks, he has absolutely no intention of figuring out anything behind that. So, yeah. Yeah, it's just not my favorite Galad stuff, because Galad has been, peak earlier, so it was just a noticeable dip.
Restung says those men are also the best generals in the world of Randland. True, but Gareth Bryan also is the one who trained Galad.
Yes.
So I would hope for more from him because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roger Lai says Galad is way too dogmatic to be a great leader. I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that that's his downfall for sure.
I think that
I think he's great sometimes.
I think that I want him to clean up the White Cloaks.
Yeah.
And I think I'm starting to realize that I don't think he's going to be able to do that. And I think that that's maybe where my disappointment comes from. It's not in the writing. I think the scene is written really well.
Yeah.
It's more just disappointment in the character. And I think that it's because my desire is for him to make the White Cloak something better.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is what he's going to do. I think he's just going to make them present.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chapter 11, An Unexpected Letter. Clarus, what'd you think of the letter?
That Matt, right?
Will you do a dramatic reading of it?
A dramatic, you know what, if I can find it.
I think you can.
What chapter was that?
It's 11. That was 16.
All right. I can
That's 14.
do that for sure. Oh. I saw the crossings out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a dramatic reading of a letter by Matrim Coughlin, as read by Clarus Polarus, the Rooster of the North.
Your royal bloody pain in my back. We're bloody waiting here to talk to you, and we're getting perturbed. That means angry. Tom says that you're a queen now, but I figure that changes nothing, since you acted like a queen all the time anyway. Don't forget that I hauled your pretty little backside out of a hole in tear, but you acted like a queen then. So, I guess I don't know why I'm surprised that now you act like one when you really are a queen. Perfect sentence structure. So, I'm thinking I should treat you like a bloody queen and send you a bloody letter and all, speaking with high talk and getting your attention. I even used my rig as a signet, like it was proper. So here is my formal salutation. So bloody stop turning me away so we can talk. I need your bell founders. It's bloody important. Matt. P.S. Salutation means greeting. P.P.S. Don't mind the scratched out words and bad spellings. I was going to rewrite the letter, but Tom is laughing so hard at me that I want it to be done. P.P.S. Don't mind me calling your backside pretty. I hardly ever spend any time looking at it, as I have an awareness that you'd pull my eyes out if you saw me. Besides, I'm married now, so that all doesn't matter. That was heinous to get through.
This is why she makes me do all the reading on the show.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, things are purposefully misspelled, and so I'm, like, laughing. Like,
how do you feel about the letter?
I cackled.
But is it good?
Like, narratively?
Yeah.
It feels very Matt.
I don't know. I feel weird about it. Because on the one hand, comedically, I think that it is not terribly written for a comedy beat. But
also, Matt has the memories of a million people before him and should probably be good at spelling.
And Matt, it's weird. This is so divided for me.
Yeah, like, I laughed and I enjoyed it as its own thing, but, like, within the story, I was like...
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good for Matt as a character. Okay. I think that it is a bad... I think that because I think that it betrays so much of the character growth we've seen from him. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that he's just smarter than that letter.
Yeah.
And he's a better manipulator than that letter. And I think that it is comedy for the audience's sake, but it doesn't further Matt's intelligent strategy towards accomplishing his goals.
I don't mind the tone of the letter. Like, honestly, I think sending Elaine a letter being like, hey, queen, I saved your ass and you're fucking ignoring me. Like, I think that the tone of the letter makes sense. But the misspelling and the poor sentence structure doesn't make sense because, yes, Matt is a farm boy, but he also has lived many, many lives and
Matt
has been in courts and been a nobleman. He's been a general. Like, he's...
No, but even before he got the memories.
Yeah.
Matt can read.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we know that Matt can read.
Well,
because Matt has read the Trials of Jane Farstrider.
Yeah.
No, but Matt reads, like, novels. Like, Matt isn't reading, like, picture books.
Yeah.
We know that Matt can read.
Yeah. You talk about the letter, I have to pee.
Yeah, and so it's a weird... It's a weird comedy beat that it took me out of it. I was like, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. And then I was like, I don't know. I don't know that this gets across what Matt wants to accomplish here. I also think that Claire says she likes the tone of it. I think the tone would have been better if it was the second letter. But I think that it is the first letter, and I think the tone of it is a little bit strange to me, considering it is the initial introduction. And it's not like Elaine has ignored him yet, right? Dale Hendrickson, thank you for that super chat. I just got here. There are dark friends everywhere saying awful things, but for now, you're surrounded by friends. You're not alone. Thank you, Dale. I appreciate that. It is the second letter. No, it's the first letter. He says he's going to write another letter, but it's the first letter. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think that, like, narratively, I did not like it. But I think, like, the comedy of it's well written. I just think the letter that Elaine, the letter that Elaine reads is the first letter. No, this is the first letter.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. He's sent a bunch of letters before, and Nori didn't give them to Elaine. He's contacted her several times asking for a meeting. Like, several.
But this is the first letter.
This is the... No. This is the letter he wrote after he got frustrated that she hadn't responded to any of his other letters. Back a card and welcome to the nerd table. I always thought Matt wrote it like that intentionally because it shows how he thinks Elaine perceives him. It's tongue-in-cheek. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't work for me, but...
I don't know that I don't know that he wrote other letters. I think this is the only letter he wrote. Because he says he's going to write another one if he doesn't hear back soon.
No, he wrote... He's contacted her because the band is there, and they were like, no, you have to wait with the other mercenaries.
That wasn't a letter, though. He's asked to see her.
Nori says, I'm sorry you didn't get the other letters because
Does Nori say that?
Yeah, and Elaine apologizes about the other letters, was like, you got lost, there were too many things, it was like keeping track of it all, I apologize. There is at least one other letter, maybe more.
Okay.
But like possibly like a couple of them. Because Matt is talking about how he's waiting to see Elaine and Elaine hasn't responded to him yet.
But not because he sent a letter. He went up and like put his name on the roster to talk to her. And
roster?
Yeah. So all of the mercenaries, because Elaine says that when the mercenary camp show up, she doesn't want to send them away because she needs them for Tarmangaden.
Uh-huh.
And so she just says that to tell them to camp a league away, and then I will get to them so that they think that she's going to get to them soon, but she's never going to. She's like forcing them to wait.
Uh-huh.
That's not Matt writing a letter to her, though.
Yeah, but he did write her a letter, and Nori never gave it to her.
Okay.
Because he just
I don't know that I believe that's true, but we'll move forward with that.
It's in the book. And that's, yeah.
I agree with Sean. I think they made requests, but I think this is the first letter he writes Elaine.
There is at least one other that is mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the one that Elaine gets and sees, only because Nori's like, hey, there's this letter. It seems like way too familiar, so I thought I would bring it to your attention. And Elaine is like, I'm sorry, like, it took so long. Your other letter or letters were lost, like, didn't get to me. I didn't see them.
Okay, we're going to move on. But if I can prove that I'm right, I will in the Discord.
Sure, go for it.
Because I don't think that's true. I think the other letters are from other people. I don't know.
Go for it.
I don't know if I agree with this.
Go for it.
We'll get to that later, though.
But for now, we will move on with the assumption that there is another letter.
Sure.
Until you can, it's innocent until proven guilty. You got to prove.
We're gonna pause the show for like 20 minutes, and I'm gonna go read the chapter again, and I'm gonna try. No, I'm kidding. Love
it. Riveting. We already have so much reaction chapters to do. So.
Ashandarai says he says in the letter that he decided to write a letter that since she won't meet with him. You just read that aloud. We can't move on from this right now. I'm sorry.
It's mentioned. The other letter is mentioned by Nori and Elaine. So there are other letters.
You talking about something else? I'm gonna deal with this really quick.
All right, place your bets, folks. Place your bets. Place your bets. Anyways, there's other stuff that goes on in this chapter. Elaine wants to take the Kyrian Sun Throne. Okay. I don't know if we think this is a good plan. I feel like if you want that throne, now is the best possible time to do it.
No, I'm right. This is the first letter.
You're not.
Yes, I am. So we're bloody waiting here to talk to you, and we're getting perturbed. That means angry. That's the beginning of paragraph 1. Paragraph 2. So I'm thinking I should treat you like a bloody queen and send you a bloody letter and all, speaking with high talk and getting your attention. It's the first letter.
Sending a letter, speaking in bloody high talk. Like he's...
This is the first letter.
No, it's not.
No, they've made formal requests to meet her, but this is the first letter.
No.
Why would he write, I'm thinking I'm going to write you a letter in the second letter? He would write, I sent you a letter that you ignored.
I would write you a letter in bloody high talk. What
was the other letter written in? This is not high talk. This is Matt talk.
No, he's making fun of it. Like, he's like, I'm not going to do what you expect me to do. Because he already wrote one that was nice, and it got ignored. You think I'm going to write you a letter in bloody high talk? No, fuck you.
No, that's not what this sentence says. So I'm thinking I should treat you like a bloody queen and send you a bloody letter and all speaking with high talk.
Okay, so go to Nori then. Go to Nori, okay? Because there are other letters that Nori mentions.
No, those are letters from other camps, not from Matt.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
The letters that Nori's talking about are the letters that this letter was in with the other people.
You keep going. I'll find it.
I'm just saying.
I discounted their leader's insistence that he wasn't a mercenary, so he has contacted Nori.
Yes. Well, we know that he's on the list to talk to Elaine, but he's never written Elaine a letter before this one.
Well, he has to write a formal request. He didn't go see Nori himself to be like, hey, bro, I want to talk to Elaine.
Well, no, he probably did. He probably wrote up with fucking 20,000 people.
No, they didn't.
Matt, in the book, says, I'm going to have to write her another letter. He's only written her one letter, and it's this one.
Another letter.
Yes.
Another.
Yes.
More than one.
I am right here, and I will not be deterred from this.
I don't think there is a single person on your side. Like, literally, like, I should have brought this to you sooner. My informants told me that this group was recently in employ of the Crown of Wordy, so I discounted their leader's insistence that he wasn't a mercenary. Matt has insisted in his letters to Nori that he is to
or
be
in a conversation with Nori. He does not say that he wrote him a letter.
How would he have talked to Nori?
Because he's the leader of a 20,000 person army.
So?
You get a little bit of fucking FaceTime when you ride up with the giant army and they need to make sure who you are.
Not
they
with
don't
the
correspond
accountant of the castle. No,
absolutely with the accountant.
I'm sorry.
He is the person you talk to.
Absolutely not. I'm sorry, you're very wrong.
This was not the second letter. Y'all can't fucking read. This is look.
Yes.
Let's fucking get into this.
We are the ones that are wrong. See, like next time someone claims to know me personally, at least you get Brigitte's attention, right?
But this is still Matt's first letter to Elaine. I am correct about that.
I don't think so.
He did not write another letter to Elaine. This is the first one. It is the only one addressed to her, and it got lost in the other letters that other people wrote to her.
All right, how do I put up a poll? How do we set up a poll? If chat says that you're wrong, will you drop it?
No, they're wrong.
How do I?
Chat is objectively incorrect here.
No, I'm sorry. /poll? No, that's how you do it in Twitch. Yeah, no, Dakuna didn't work. Don't know. I do you know how to set up a poll? See, this is this is why we need Dusty Wheel here. The innkeeper knows how to do polls. All right. Start a poll.
This is genuinely the only thing I care about this book club right now.
Matt's first letter. Is this Matt's first letter? Yes or no? Starting a poll now. Let's watch this one.
He says, burn me. I still need to talk to Elaine. I'll have to write her another letter stronger this time. That was the only letter he sent.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
No. He's waiting outside to talk to her. He didn't put his name on, like, a list.
No, he wrote up with 20,000 people.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, all right, you're on the list.
And
she will get to you. Go camp a league away from the city. That's how that works.
And Matt would have written to be like, hey, I'm not just another mercenary. It's Matt Cawthon. He wouldn't just, like, trust the soldier. Like, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is another letter, like an additional letter.
He only wrote one letter.
Yeah.
Nori would have found all of Matt's letters and put them together and brought them to Elaine.
No,
he would not have been like, hey, I found this one letter.
Throw them out.
No, he would not. No, he would not.
Yeah.
Nori keeps every piece of correspondence. There is a presidential library underneath the Palace of Camelin where Nori has stacks on stacks on stacks.
You think he keeps Elaine's fan mail?
You do not throw away official correspondence to the Queen in the middle of a crisis.
Yeah, there's a lot of nutso people out there.
He has not...
Do you go through all of your Instagram DMs and keep them?
Not from people who have 10,000 people outside. Matt is not some random fucking pauper in the streets of Camelin. He is the leader of the Band of the Red Hand who are camping a league outside the city. What are we talking about here?
Elaine is on Instagram with 1 million followers.
We're not reading the stronger letter, Baka Karn. Nori says that this is the letter he's been holding on to for weeks.
Baka Karn is
You're wrong. You're all wrong. He sent one letter.
No, Baka Karn is right.
He sent one
it's
singular letter.
79%.
There was one fucking letter sent. I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
It's
Landon
okay
the
to
DM
be
says he is just a
wrong.
mercenary. He is the mercenary with the largest force outside the walls.
It's
He's not
okay to
just
be
a mercenary.
wrong.
I'm not wrong.
It's okay to
You
be
guys are
wrong.
gaslighting the fuck out of
It's
me.
okay.
And now you're being so condescending.
okay.
What the fuck is this?
It's okay. It's gonna be fine. There were more letters. Don't worry about it.
You're not correct.
I mean, 78% of people agree with me.
They're wrong.
Okay.
It's in the text. It's in the fucking text that it is the first letter that he sent to Elaine. Maybe he wrote to Nori. I'll grant you that.
Nori.
But he did not. I wouldn't be to Nori. It would be to whom it may concern.
You keep saying that he talked to Nori.
Rustung, thank you for joining the Nargs of the Nerd Table. Nargs are smart, and Rustung says, I don't always agree with Nerdy, but when I do, it's because Matt wrote one letter. Let's fucking go!
Okay, so you have 33% of the vote. Is that enough to get elected?
It depends how gerrymandered the state is.
Intrepid Craig, thank you. Welcome back to the Nerd Table. I have to write her another letter, stronger this time. So yeah, what do you think another letter means then?
It means that he wrote a letter, and he has to write another one, which can be the second one. Another does not mean third.
What? Third? What do you mean? He's writing another letter.
No, he says, I'll have to write another letter.
Uh-huh.
And then, 6 hours later, Elaine is like, come to my castle.
Nah.
Matt does not write a letter in those 6 hours.
It's okay.
No,
okay.
I'm not wrong. Matt gets called to the castle on the same day that Jolene and Teslin leave.
Mm-hmm.
And Nori says that he's been holding on to this letter for weeks.
That one?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, that's what Nori fucking... Oh my god, we're going to go over this. Yes, he has had it in a list, and he hasn't brought it to her.
Joe, thank you for that super chat. Chat GPT. The letter asking Elaine for help with the dragons seemed to be presented as a unique occurrence, mainly due to its content. With the one that you mean the one that he shows her in person? Glenn Peterson, thank you as well for the super chat. I hate this letter. Brandon S. screwed it up. Matt has written to the girls before and it wasn't full of spelling errors. Still makes me mad. Yeah, the letter, I'm not a huge fan of the actual letter. I feel you there.
Okay. Where the fuck does Nori talk?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of her talking about coin.
Mm-hmm.
One of the mercenary captains has taken it upon himself to send you a very familiar letter. I wouldn't have brought it to you, but upon second reading, it seems that it is something you should see. The ruffian's claims are outlandish. There's one letter. He sent one very familiar letter. Should they prove accurate?
This is a very familiar letter, yeah. He
He
doesn't say they've only sent one letter. He just says this letter in particular is very familiar.
Where does Nori talk again? I should have brought this to you sooner.
Yeah.
My informants told me that this group was recently in the employ of the Crown of Murandy, so I discounted their leader's insistence that he wasn't a mercenary.
Because they've had previous correspondence. Matt has sent other letters.
No,
I should have brought
you sooner. This letter. I should have brought this to you sooner.
Not this specific letter. I should have brought this issue to you sooner because Matt has written before to be like, hey, I know Elaine. And Nori was probably like, yeah, fucking right you do.
We need to move on. Nicholas Reed says, there is zero evidence that Matt sent more than one letter. You are asking Nerdy to disprove a negative. Fucking thank you. There are no other fucking letters. He wrote one letter. Can you imagine the effort that it would take to get Matt to actually write a second letter? He barely got through the fucking first one.
Oh, I mean, Matt probably had someone write it for him.
Not with the scratching out and whatnot.
No, I mean the first one, right? He would have his servant write it for him. We
have to move on. We have to move on.
But so why
because you cannot prove what you are saying.
But why would Matt be waiting there for Elaine to meet with him if he didn't request a meeting?
When he showed up, he asked for a meeting, and they said, we'll give you one. And so they were like, camp a league away, and we'll get you a meeting with the queen. And so he waited.
There's no way Matt would have trusted that.
And he waited.
Matt is too smart for that. He knows what Elaine is doing.
No, Matt also knows that he showed up with 20,000 people, and you can't show up with 20,000 people and make a bunch of demands. It looks bad. Matt is trying to be smart. You cannot show
I'm sorry,
up with
I do not agree with you.
You cannot
at
show up
all.
with a siege level force.
In chapter 8, he says he sent word and got no reply. So he'll have to be more firm. Thank you, Iljam.
That's the one letter that he sent.
No.
He sent word one time.
No, he
It is the
sent
singular letter that he sent. He only sent one letter.
No, in chapter 8.
Ember Eyes, I think the text can be interpreted either way. No way to prove either. It depends on the reader. I know, but I'm right, and Clarus is wrong.
Iljam just proved that in chapter 8, he sent word, got no reply, so he's going to have to...
That is the one letter we're talking about.
That is not this letter.
It is this letter.
No, this is the firm letter that he wrote next.
This is the joke. Oh my god, that's not what the joke is. The joke is that this is the letter. And he's like, the next letter is going to be more firm. But the first letter is this.
But we don't get this letter until way further, so the joke
but
doesn't
Nori
land.
already had it.
The joke doesn't land.
No.
That
Nori
doesn't
has
make
had this
any
letter for a
sense.
while.
All right, yeah, we have to move on, because I think you're just being obstinate to be obstinate.
I'm not.
And
Lee Science, thank you so much for joining the Nerd Table. This is the content we come for.
I cannot believe this. God damn it. Smash that like button.
Landon the DM says, except he said he didn't use strong words. That is the joke. The joke is that Matt, it's the same joke with Oliver, where Matt keeps being like, where does Oliver learn this language from? Because he thinks that his language is clean, but his language is the language that Oliver is using. It's the same joke. It is the same joke in both instances.
No. No.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah, you're putting a joke in there.
Elaine gets really dark and is like, if Rand dies, I need to be a better queen, so I'm going to take Kyrian. Moving on.
Honestly, that's pretty much it. It's like, yeah, if Rand dies and the world falls apart, somebody's got to have stability, right?
Michael Kioski, thank you for that super chat. I think we need another pair of shirts. There was one letter. That would be the most niche joke. You would have to have been here for this dumb fucking 20-minute argument that we just had.
No, it's the same shirt. It has like an envelope on it, and one shirt has 1, and the other has 1+.
Check page 60. He said he spoke to that clerk, not sent a letter. Fucking boom! He sent a single letter. He spoke to Nora in person. He says so in the book. You have been gaslighting me for over 20 minutes.
Literally no way he could have spoken to Nori.
He says in the book that he did!
No, he would have had to have Like, Nori is not just wandering around in the city. He's working in the castle. How did Matt get to speak to him?
Because Matt brought the largest army possible. You send a fucking leader of your...
you keep them outside.
Yes, who keeps them outside?
The guards.
No,
not Nori.
No. When someone rides up with this many people, you send the professional. You don't have some rinky-dink minimum wage leather car.
72% of people say that there was more than... Okay. Chandra, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Nerd is right. I often disagree with him, but he's right this time. Also, Sanderson admitted to having a tough time writing Matt in this book.
Yeah, that's
Which
fair.
is fair. Yeah, I feel that. D&D Guru, thank you for the super chat. Hashtag there was one letter. We need shirts, apparently, so that we can prove this one way or the other. I don't know what those shirts are going to be, but if you have ideas, let me know. The dress is gold and white. Fucking hell.
It is blue and black.
No, it's gold and white.
Oh my god, we cannot fucking do this.
Rant Almore is correct.
Okay, but the company that made the dress says that it is blue and black.
Yes, but
because they use blue and black dyes.
But if you color match the dress in the photo,
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
White and gold.
The worst part of this is that there are probably people who think this is so frustrating to listen to, and this is my favorite part of book club.
Pedantry.
Even though I think 10% of our audience is left.
Robert, thank you for that super chat.
My God.
You should invite Brandon Sanderson on your podcast. He often does podcasts. You can ask him about the letter.
But that would be the... No. Here's the thing. If he comes on, that's the only thing we discuss.
Okay.
We do an entire show.
Okay. If we want Brandon Sanderson on the podcast, we need to get it trending on Twitter. That's the only way to get people to do things.
I don't think you understand how many people we would need to tweet about it to get it trending.
That's what I'm saying. How many of you guys have Twitter? We can do this.
Not enough to go trending.
No. We can do this. I believe in us. I believe in us. What, guys? We're gonna organize. We're gonna organize in the Discord. We're gonna get it trending on Twitter of time. Is there one letter or are there more? It's fine.
All right. Chapter 12. An empty ink bottle. Min is just chilling, thinking about how hot she is.
Pretty much.
And Nynaeve is not. Nynaeve is pacing like a motherfucker, being like, fuck this shit. Where the fuck is Rand? He was gone for 3 days. I thought Veins of Gold was like an hour and a half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he probably walked down the whole mountain. Like, he
oh,
probably,
that's
like,
right. I forgot about that part of it.
Took a stroll, was, like, casually, like, chilling.
No, he can't have.
Why?
Wait, how much time passes in this chapter?
Good question.
Because Min feels... No, he's on top of the mountain for 3 days. We know he's on top of the mountain for 3 days. Because Min, in this moment, Nynaeve says that it's been 3 days, and then Min feels the Veins of Gold happen.
She doesn't feel that in the chapter.
Yeah, she does. She does. She literally does. That's what happens here.
No. She is remembering the experience of it. It doesn't actually happen in this chapter. It's a little bit weird. But she remembers the moment that the, like, broodiness changed to this, like, beautiful light. It isn't in that exact moment. Finally, thank you. Welcome back to the Nerd Table. They found the poll function that let the Lord of Chaos rule. What should our next poll be? Orchid Eater, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Min only wrote 1 letter. You right. You fucking right about that.
Well, then this is fucking confusing.
It is. It is weird. But yeah, she is remembering the moment. I don't know how much time has passed. It's been 3 days, apparently.
The timeline of this fucking book.
I know.
Yeah.
It's been 3 days since Rand left. And Rand did Veins of Gold on that, like, kind of same day. So I think it's been 2 days since he's,
Rand did
like,
not
been
spend
Gucci.
time in Abu Dar. Rand was at Abu Dar for like 5 minutes. He walked out of that gateway, almost blew up the city, and then bamfed out.
Yeah,
Rand did not chill there for 2 days.
I thought he was maybe there for an hour or two.
No. He's there overnight. He spends 1 night with the Tinkers.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, so that's 1 night.
You're right.
And then Veins of Gold must have been the second day.
The next day.
And then the meeting with
Elaine was
Egwayne.
day 3. So he probably...
Elaine. He hasn't met with Elaine.
Egwayne.
You said Elaine, sorry.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay. Yeah, then he...
Yeah, okay.
Then he meets with... Like, he probably
So Abu Dar's
down
did
the
night
mountain.
1. And then day
night
2, he Veins of Gold.
Veins of Gold. Then day 3, he, like, walks down the mountain and goes and sees Egwayne, I guess.
Right.
Walks
that
through the
makes sense.
apple orchard and it's like, poof, magic.
Yeah. But yeah, so Min is being so chill because she knows that Veins of Gold has happened. I thought Veins of Gold happened in the middle of this conversation.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But I understand what you're saying. And she tells Nynaeve that if he's gone for a couple more days, that she will lead Nynaeve to Rand. But for now, they should be thinking about the fact that Alana is gone. Is Alana Black Aja?
That's what I'm worried about because remember there was the whole list. Here's the thing.
But Alana wasn't on it.
Was not on that list, but Egwayne does say more sisters than were on that list ran away because obviously Varen's list wasn't complete. And so Alana disappearing is definitely suspicious.
It's sus, right?
It's very sus.
Yeah.
Or she does get captured, like kidnapped.
Or she's doing something for Cadsuane or for Rand. Or like the problem is that...
No, because we get Cadsuane's POV. So I think Cadsuane in her head...
But that doesn't mean that Cadsuane is a reliable narrator in that POV.
In her own head? Yeah. Could be like, oh, she's not... In her own head, she wouldn't be wondering where Alana went.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. AP says, couldn't Rand tell through the bond? No, because there were Aes Sedai warders who... There were warders to Aes Sedai who were Black Aja that did not know that their Aes Sedai were Black Aja, right?
Yeah.
So the bond cannot just tell you that they're black.
Yes. Yeah.
Alana did get a letter before she left. Yeah, yes. I don't think she was kidnapped. I think kidnapped is not an option because of the letter.
Yeah. I don't know about the seal. Like, I don't know what...
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to find out eventually.
Unless the letter was from Varen.
Oh, right, because they were together so much. Oh, wait, they were together so much. What if Alana is also a Black Aja who's good? Maybe. Right? Like, what if Alana is also working against the Black Aja, but in the Black Aja? Because that would explain why they were together so much. Yeah. And is the seal...
Chat, stop it.
We don't... How many letters did Alana...
I think it's from Varen.
I love this fucking show.
I think it's from Varen. I'm going to lock in that answer as my prediction.
All right. Well, you've been wrong about everything else today, so... Wow. You can really dance.
You said I was going to be spicy today.
No, I said that so that when I was spicy, it would be funnier. I was trying to set up.
Oh, I see.
You're not spicy ever, babe. Except in the head.
I'm a little spicy.
You're spicy in the head, but not in the mouth.
Not what?
Well, you can't eat spice.
That's true. Spicy in the head and body, but not mouth. That's fair.
But also Perrin also gave Matt a letter with a seal on it, so maybe it's the same seal.
That's what I was thinking.
I think the reason why the seal on neither of the letters is described because it would give this away too soon.
Yeah. It's just a red seal.
So we cut to Swain, who fucking sucks. And she's still terrible. Even though there's no like remorse about what happened with Rand. She's like, fuck it. You'd think she would be like in her room like, wow, I really fucked up. Maybe I should like consider how I treat people. Or no, I'm not gonna do that.
No.
But apparently Alana was channeling, but not enough to travel. And Alana was off and crying in her room.
I figured that was because of Rand, but maybe it's because she was Black Aja or she was working with Perrin in a way. I don't know.
No, I think it's just that the bond with Rand hurts her.
Yeah, but like Min and Elaine and Avienda don't spend their nights crying.
Because the bond with Rand doesn't hurt them.
So why would it hurt Alana?
Because he hates her for what she did to him.
Oh, I thought the crying was like the pain in this. I don't know.
Or maybe Rand is like, this is dark, but maybe Rand is pushing the pain through the bond to Alana to save his girls from it.
He's like, fuck you, Alana. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, hey, she bonded him against his will. These are the consequences of your fucking actions.
Yeah, I don't
It would be different if he was doing it like out of spite for something silly. But she asked for this bond. She literally forced the bond on him. If you feel pain through the bond because of your actions, fuck, that's on you, girl.
That's on you.
Nobody asked you to do that, except maybe the Dark One.
Yeah.
But everyone's kind of freaking out about it because they realize, like, oh no, if they have Alana, they know where Rand is. Even though Rand is like, they always know where I fucking am.
Yeah, they've always been able to find him. I don't think it's
They sent 100,000 Trollocs to the manor house. They know how to get to me.
Yeah.
And
then the tea is really good. We got some really good tea because
all of a sudden
Rand shows up.
Yeah. Everything tastes better when Rand's nearby.
Guess who's back?
And then
back again.
For what has been wrought, Chapter 13, Towers of Midnight. Let's fucking go, Chapter 13. This is lucky Chapter 13.
Lucky 13, let's go.
God damn, this shit was good. This shit was so fucking good. Oh my god, Rand is back. And Min rushes out, and she looks at him, and she's like, holy shit, he looks old as fuck.
Wow,
and then he
your
smiles,
wrinkles are real bad.
And she's like, nah, that's my boy.
He's
gonna split me in half later tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I gotta go put on my tightest trousers. I need to turn that boy on.
And my highest heels.
Min does not wear heels.
Yeah, she wears heeled boots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she wears a wedge. But Min is not putting on like a stiletto.
Sorry. A wedge? No, wedges are horrible. No, it's a boot, like with a chunky heel probably. No, not a stiletto, but
I doubt it. I think it is a full bottom boot.
I think wedges are like really uncomfortable to walk on stone with. Have you ever walked in a wedge on stone? Terrible.
No.
Terrible.
I'm thinking it's going to be more of a, like, riding boot than it is a, like...
Yeah, riding boots
like
are not
a sexy
wedges. Boot. It's a pretty sexy boot. It's a pretty sexy boot.
Does not matter. What matters is that Rand is like, oh yeah, no, Alana's to the north. I don't fucking care. It'll be fine. I'll go get her if I need to go get her. Oh!
Guys, we have the power now for polls.
Let's just Google it. What boots, what shoes?
This is great podcast content.
What shoes does Min wear?
What shoes does
Heung-min's son
wear?
Plays as forward for the Tottenham Hotspur in Premier League. Heung-min's son wears Adidas X Speed Portal soccer cleats.
Okay, you heard it here first, folks. Adidas X Speed Portal soccer cleats.
Let's look at this.
Let's see what these look like, actually.
Oh, Min's wearing some cute shoes.
Those are not cute. I've never found cleats to be very cute.
It was a joke. It's a fucking joke. Welcome to the Nerdy Wordy Book Club.
You guys, Adidas X Speed Portal soccer cleats.
This is Silly. I can't believe we argued for 20 minutes.
Would you like to sponsor
something that you were so wrong about?
Oh, please. You're just going to be very upset when Brandon Sanderson tweets at me that there's more than one letter.
There isn't, though. And also, he spoke to the clerk. It's exhausting to talk to you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nori is the only clerk. Anyways, this is a good chapter.
I don't think... Yeah, we need to move on. We just have to move on before I divorce you.
Fine.
So Rand, Ruark walks up to Rand, is like, do you know what a meagerling is?
In our book club. Sorry, what?
He's like, do you know what a meagerling is?
It's a fucking stupid animal.
Stupid animal that our children torture for fun.
Fucking lemming.
This was weird.
Yeah, Aiel play with them and make them kill themselves. I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, Ruark, Aiel need therapy. The wise ones are not doing their job.
I'm concerned. I have serious concerns.
This was dark. And
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, Avienda makes so much sense now. She definitely is a psychopath who tortured animals as a child.
The Aiel take magnifying glasses and burn ants.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yeah, it's why they like fighting so much. It's because they're all serial killers.
Yeah. James Ross, you're right. You know, we'll just pull a Perrin and Faile. We'll go fuck it out later. We'll feel better.
Okay, so she wears 3-inch heels.
Okay. See?
All right.
Yeah. But we need to know if they're wedge heels or if they're chunky heels.
We actually don't.
I need to know. Okay.
I don't know. When did wedges come into existence? Probably in the 2000s.
Yeah, probably. Anyways, Rand is like, I have toe. And Ruark is like,
great.
Yeah.
Cool. We're good.
Yeah.
Everyone chills out really quick just because Rand says that.
Well,
I really thought Rand was about to get spanked by everybody in the courtyard. I was like, are all of them about to spank Rand? And I was like, oh no, wait, Robert Jordan doesn't write the books anymore.
No, they might, but they'll just do it off page. Everyone gets one spank, okay? For the Carcon.
I'd be down for that. That'd be fun. Mm-hmm. We should do that at WatCon. I'll just everyone can spank me once.
Oh, I was like, I'm not gonna have people spank because I had a Rand cosplay. I was like, why the fuck would I?
No, but we should do that as a video for other places.
Anyways,
we just need a bunch of other off creators
before we get demonetized.
Just all have maiden
cosplays. Yeah.
We should recreate Egwayne leaving the Aiel.
Oh my god, all the wives ones. Fuck off. Anyways, we're moving on. We're moving on.
Oh man. We are weird. Our life is so strange.
We know how to have a good time. So anyways, Narishma is gonna tell the Borderlanders he's gonna meet with them in Farmatting. He's gonna risk it for the biscuit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was pretty bold. I still don't like how they've kind of handled that whole thing, but Rand is like, nah, shit's gotta happen, so tell them that I'm gonna meet with them. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, this was such an interesting chapter because it kind of just felt like everyone was just acknowledging the change in Rand.
Yes.
I think that everyone was just so happy to see that he was different.
Yeah.
That everyone kind of relaxed a little bit for the first time in months. I feel like everyone has been... What this whole chapter felt like to me, until Tam walks out, which is obviously the best part of it, but the whole chapter felt like a bunch of people standing around, looking at the President of the United States, thinking that he was going to push the nuclear launch code for months.
Yeah.
And he closed the briefcase in front of them.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of is like, oh shit, we can finally fucking untense our shoulders a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just enough.
And yeah. I think that it was interesting how it played out. I really like everything about this chapter, especially when Rand is like, bring Cat Swain, I'm not gonna kill her.
Not gonna kill her, you're not exiled, even though it was kind of only a minor inconvenience to you. And she's like, minor inconvenience?
Yeah.
I had to sweat a little bit, even though I don't sweat because I'm an Aes Sedai.
Who is he sending her to hunt down? In the Caroline grass.
I have never heard of that place before. I am assuming it has something to do with Shara. Because it's a place we've never heard of before. No? Okay, I don't know.
No, we've heard of
Caroline grass. Is it on the map?
We've heard, I don't know, maybe. We've heard of the Caroline grass before.
We have?
Yeah, I just don't know. I just can't remember where it is.
Caroline grass.
It's actually what I call my pubes, but I can't imagine what she'll find down there.
Jesus Christ. It's on our map.
She'll find a little soldier.
Let's grab the map.
I have it right here.
Oh, is it maybe...
Oh, no, it's
not
right here. It's
land.
above Andor.
Oh, where the Black Tower is, maybe?
No, the Black Tower's down here.
She's sending Cadsuane to the Black Tower?
No, the Black Tower's over here.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know who could be in the Caroline Grass.
He says that probably, so that person also may not be there? I don't know.
The Caroline Grass is where Perrin and Egwayne ran into the Tinkers and Elias. That's what it is. Yes, it's from book 2.
Okay, so what do we
book
know
one.
was
Book
over
one.
there? The White Cloaks aren't over there anymore.
No. The Borderlander army is not in the Caroline Grass.
No, they're in
They're
Formatting.
south of that. I don't know who's in the Caroline Grass, honestly.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll find out soon.
Probably.
Seeing where it is makes it even weirder, because the Borderlanders
is
are
it
further
Alana?
south. No, Alana's up in the Borderlands.
Oh, right, because Rand can field that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Finney is right here. I love how Rand lifts Cad's banishment and promptly banishes her to the Caroline Grass.
Yes.
This is the most effective way. See, this is the thing that Rand needs to do with Cadsuane is just give her shit to do.
Yeah.
So that she's not plotting her own shit.
Yeah, agreed. Or maybe, wait, Rand doesn't know about Slayer.
Slayer is not in the Caroline Grass.
Okay.
Slayer is
We've seen Slayer like 6 books ago.
No, but he lives in the Tel'aran Riad.
Yeah.
She would have to be able to enter the dream world to fight him.
Right. This chapter is the equivalent of everyone having their sphincters clenched to hold in the mother of all farts for hours on a burst side, finally reacting.
Oh, yeah.
It is. Ride, but yeah.
It's coming home after a first date.
And just letting it all out.
Every guy in New York has had this moment where you like walk a girl to her building and you give her a kiss on the stoop and then the door closes and you just let out the most epic fart because you've been holding it like on the subway the whole time.
Okay, you walk away from the door so she doesn't hear you.
Maybe. But then you turn around on the stoop and at the bottom is like another person who's about to head into that building and you're like, I just farted in that person's face.
Yeah. Just crop dusting.
Yeah.
Anyways, Rand is like, hey, Min, I need you to find out what Calendar has to do with the prophecies. We need to figure out how that fits in. I need you to research. I trust you and I love you and you got this. And
Min's like, what do you think I'm doing?
Yeah.
You think I'm just sitting here looking hot, fucking around?
Yep.
Bitch, I've been putting that shit together. I talked to Cadsuane about this days ago.
Yeah. He tells them that Egwene's the new Amyrlin.
Yeah. And he's like, I went. They're like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, Egwene's pissed at me, so maybe fix that.
Which is, yeah. I don't understand why he thinks he's gonna have to fight her, but.
And then he brings out all the High Lords and Ladies in a fucking line and is like, Dark Friend.
So, how do you feel about Weramon being a Dark Friend?
It kind of makes sense. He's like stupid enough that he's able to like he doesn't seem like suspicious.
But he's too stupid to have pulled it off to me.
No, I think he acts stupid. Also, Pater was a Dark Friend, and Pater was a fucking idiot.
I know, but my thing is like, if it's gonna be a farce, and if it's gonna be a face you put on, why like stand out so much? I think it's weird to me how much Weramon like thrust himself into things.
Because he was trying to fuck up a situation, be like, no, I can ride in with my cavalry, even knowing it's a bad idea. Because he's trying to fuck things up. He's like trying to look brave.
In battle, I get that. Yeah. I think that like there's just in hindsight, there's some things where I'm like, wow, you really put a target on yourself in a way that I think that if I was trying to be a Dark Friend hiding among the army, I would have maybe been a little bit more sneaky.
But you want to get prestige within the Dark Friends, and doing nothing doesn't get you that. Weramon wanted to be noticed.
Fair. Yeah.
I think, anyways.
That's fair.
Yeah, he was playing Duck, Duck, Goose, basically. Rand was like, Duck, 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 Goose.
Do you think Rand has the ability to like pick out Dark Friends?
Yeah,
forever now?
I think so.
It seems like he was just able to like look people in the eyes and know.
You know, he has seen Jesus and has been blessed with the power to see.
Is that you, Jesus?
Is it me, Jesus? Yeah, so I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing: it doesn't matter that much in like everyday life, but like for the nobles around him, fucking S tier power. S tier.
I want to recreate the Maids of Gold sequence on top of the mountain, but I know it's today from Shrek, and it's
There's
just
a
Rand.
princess in a tower. Oh my gosh, that's just like me.
There's a dragon on a mountain.
Did you like watching
But
this
it's Luce there, Telemon, and Randolph Thor having this conversation. Do I know it's today?
Silly Aiel needs a haircut. But Lucerne won't set him free. He passes time by raging like someone else I know.
Oh my god, that is so funny.
As years go by, he sits and waits. As years go by, fuck.
The tainting, the tainting, the tainting. But I know he'll appear.
I fucking love it. I love, yeah.
Woo!
Is that going to be our submission for...
Why?
People
No one would get it.
People be like, I'm sorry, Shrek is a musical?
Oh my god.
That would be
my
great.
God.
That would be great. But anyways.
There's so many good songs for Shrek, though. Like...
So many. Like, Who I'd Be?
Yeah.
Great. You
Great.
can do that
Dragon
for
Reborn.
so many different characters, but, like, you can have Rand, and then you have, like, Avienda and Min, and, like, Elaine is standing there, doesn't sing any of the parts. She's, like, pregnant in the background.
I love this show. I don't know why anyone else watches this show, but I think it's hilarious.
It's great. It's great. Guys, if you haven't watched Shrek the Musical, it is genuinely
It's on Netflix.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know if it still is, but it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I wish I had a bootleg of mine. I would share that privately in the Discord, but I don't. They were supposed to send me one, but then they never did, and I'm sad about it. I know, I want it.
I know. I get that. Maybe there's clips on YouTube somewhere.
I'll just have to recreate it by myself.
I'll be your Fiona.
Yeah, I just need someone to play Donkey. That's the one character I don't think I could get away with.
No, definitely not.
Joe G, thank you for that super chat. Cosplay idea, Clarus Rand, nerdy, loose skits.
Oh my god. The problem is you're the taller one.
It's just me in your head being like, Ilyana!
Like, shut the fuck up.
I don't know. I don't know that I'll ever do a Wheel of Time skit better than getting Billy Zane to fucking be my Ishamael.
That was peak content.
That video
right
to me is my favorite thing.
100%.
I just can't believe there's a video of me and Billy Zane making a fucking TikTok.
The world is a beautiful place.
And how upset he was when I gave him notes on the first time we recorded it.
He was just kind of like, okay.
He was like, I know how to do my job. I was like, okay, but I need you to be louder because we're at a con.
He did not say that. I'm not going to let you put words into Billy Zane's mouth on the internet.
It wasn't words, it was a look.
Yeah.
It was a look where he was like, really?
He's like,
I felt like he had somehow poked my soul with the taint in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, the best part of the chapter, obviously.
Tam Thor walks out.
Tam
and Rand
walks out.
shits himself.
Wow.
Oh no, he does let Weramon and what's her fucking name? Anila?
Yeah, he's like, get the fuck out of here. I was blind, but now I can see.
I can see clearly now, the taint is gone.
Ba-da-ba.
I can see all the dark friends in my way.
Fuck off.
My girlfriend is pregnant, but I do not know.
Love that.
Gonna be a bright, rotten food day.
Fucking hate it here. I'm leaving. This is my last podcast.
So Tam walks out, and Rand seizes up, and then he goes over, and much like you and I on the stairs, he's a step down, and so when they hug, they're almost at the same height, and it's cute.
It is cute, okay?
And Rand weeps.
I nearly cried.
Yeah, this was great. This whole chapter.
So
we've been making some jokes, but this chapter really was fantastic. Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Yeah.
It brought me joy. Like, there was so many good things in this.
Yeah.
In even just this chapter. Like, Tam is like, you know what? It's okay. Like, you've had it rough.
I got a little teary-eyed at this. I didn't full on sob.
I got teary-eyed.
Not quite prologue sob, but
yeah.
I got a couple tears in the eyes at this one.
Yeah. No, I was like, oh god damn.
You know what was the moment that actually got me?
Oh.
Weirdly, it wasn't actually that. It was Min. It was Rand. Min walks over and Tam being like, no, I've met her. I've been here for 3 days. And Rand's like, no, but I didn't get to introduce you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I loved it.
Yeah.
She's very special to me. I also impregnated the Queen of Andor, and my other girlfriend is running through the desert naked right now.
Yeah, I really hope we get that in this book. I hope Avienda doesn't disappear for the entire novel. Colonel Sanders, welcome back to the Nerd Table. Your prediction, does Rand intro Elaine and Avi to Tam like this? And how would Tam react to 3 girlfriends?
I don't know. I feel like at this point, the life around Rand is so weird that to be surprised by anything is folly.
Yeah, Tam would be like, sure, I guess, yeah.
Oh, wow, we have to move so fast. It's already 1 o'clock.
Yep.
We should not have spent 20 minutes proving that you were wrong about the letter.
Chapter
14 of Vow. Egwayne goes to Teleran Riyadh to talk with people.
Talking with people is tight.
Oh my god, we haven't even gotten to Perrin and Faile. We need to move quick through this because I don't care about this chapter very much because I don't know when the fuck this takes place. It's very confusing. She goes to the Wise Ones first. She's like, Rand wants to break the seals. And the Wise Ones are like, oh no, that's bad, maybe. I don't know why anyone thinks this is bad. I feel like Rand's plan makes so much sense. And I wish that someone would just explain it to Egwayne in a way that, like, helps.
I'm sorry, I'm messaging Holly.
No, you're good.
Give me 2 seconds.
Because, like, if I could have a conversation with Egwayne right now, I would go, hey, you have to think of the seals as a barrier, but not a one-way barrier. It's a two-way barrier, right? Yes, I understand that you're scared about Rand having to break the seals. I feel like there's a really easy explanation here. But, like, we cannot stop him until they're broken. And he can't fully escape until they're broken. As long as there is a barrier between us, there's nothing we can do. If we're going to win this fight, we do have to break them. And I would rather choose when they break rather than let them keep falling apart and not know when it is going to happen.
Yep.
And, like, I think that Rand's version of this is the intelligent version. If you can choose when the battle is going to happen, choose when the battle is going to happen.
Yeah, I still understand why Egwayne is skeptical. Like, she doesn't understand that he's not mad. I get it. But Rand is making so much sense, and that's why I'm really happy that Nynaeve and Elaine are, like, not totally on board with Egwayne at first. Even though I was surprised that the Wise Ones were. I think that the Wise Ones kind of, like, act like they are, but are going off to figure out things for themselves, if that makes sense.
I think that Rand is being like, hey, like, I want to choose the time and location of this fight.
Yeah.
And Egwayne is being like, no, it has to be random.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that
because she doesn't have a counter argument. She doesn't have a plan.
Exactly.
She just doesn't want Rand to do his. And I think that I wish that she's
letting, like, fear control her in these moments, which happens. It's like a human response. It does make her feel fallible. Right, because she did almost everything perfectly with putting the White Tower back together. This kind of gives her, like, a bit of a flaw that I'm happy with for her character to feel more real.
Yeah. I wish that I wish that she wasn't just going behind Rand's back like this in a way that I think is going to lose her influence with Nynaeve.
Here's the thing. I think Rand fully expects this.
Oh, no, he's like, I'm going to need you to talk to Egwayne.
He's telling everybody, let Egwayne know that it's going to be okay. Try to, like, calm her down.
But it's like you can't reforge a sword without melting it down to its... You have to go back to 0 to build a sword, right?
Yeah.
You can't just, like, heat up a sword and bang it back into shape. It will never work. It will always be weaker. But if you completely melt it to nothing, you can rebuild that metal into a blade. Right?
If you say so.
No.
Can't say I've ever made a sword.
And so I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. She's like, we just can't let him do this thing. But she never provides. Do you think it's like my problem with Attack on Titan where I'm like, they keep saying we're going to do the thing, but they never provide another option.
Okay. We know certain people are tied to the wheel. Do you think Egwayne is the reincarnated version of the person that told Lews Therin no? In that, like, when Lews Therin was like, we're going to go do the thing, and she was like, no, bad idea, and they did it anyways?
What?
Do you think Egwayne is that reincarnated person? Because Lews Therin was like, this is the plan, we're going to do it. And the female Aes Sedai was like, no, I can't remember her name. It almost feels like that. Like, maybe Egwayne is her reincarnated.
Seasting says, and wasn't that sword analogy the exact one Egwayne used in the speech of? Yes. You're talking about Poppy Montgomery.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one who had the blow bang with the 100 companions.
The blow bang, yeah. Parker Posey,
that was it. Parker Posey.
I was like, there's a P probably, but then I was like, am I thinking of Pavar? Yeah, like the person from Strike at Sheo Ghul, right?
Yeah.
What if Egwayne is her reincarnated?
That'd
be cool.
It would be, yeah.
Be be interesting.
I mean,
I
if she
don't know
gets memories from it or something.
I don't know if it matters. It might be like a headcanon that you can't prove or disprove. It's fun to think so.
It would be interesting if she goes to the it would be interesting if she goes to the Aelfin Eelfin again and gets that from them.
Oh, she unlocks memories.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
So she has to get kidnapped one more time by the Aelfin Eelfin.
No, she's never been to the Aelfin Eelfin.
No, but that's what I mean.
Moiraine has.
That's what I mean. Egwayne gets kidnapped one more time to get her final level up. We thought the Amerlin seat was her final level up, but she actually unlocks all of her memories.
She becomes Rey Skywalker, and she's like, I am all Amerlins. Bam!
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so then...
she lets him know that Shuriam was Black Aja, that she catches them all up on that. They get, attacked.
Well, no, she goes to meet Elaine and Nynaeve first.
Sorry, I thought we were there. Yeah.
No, she goes to meet Nynaeve, and Nynaeve is there. They have a quick conversation. Nynaeve is like, I'll talk to Rand.
There's something funky about the window, because
and then,
it's got both of the thingies on it.
Yeah, because the dragon's claw's on it.
Yeah.
Dark Friends. And then the...
Or just men who channel.
No. Because we get a biddling, and they're like, oh, Elaine's here. But Elaine isn't there, and they're very confused. And then Elaine shows up and is like, no, I just got here. And they're like, oh, maybe there was a dark friend who put the fucking dragon claw on the window. It was a warning that there were dark friends among them.
I didn't take it as that. I thought she was seeing another reality where they worked together.
It might be that too, but the fact that someone is... the fact that someone is spying on them is real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Someone spies on them, and then Egwayne does some other, cool, funky weaves to catch them later. That was really rad.
Yeah.
That was cool. And the other girls, watch her. They're like, oh, wow, yes, fascinating.
Yeah.
And that Nynaeve has to start calling Egwayne mother.
Yeah, and Nynaeve does it.
Yeah. She's like,
sorry, we're trying to burn through this because we have literally 55 minutes and we haven't gotten to the Perrin and Faile chapter yet, which obviously is the most important chapter to talk about this week. Quick summary of events. Nynaeve has to come to the White Tower. Elaine, maybe not, because
she's pregnant.
She can't channel reliably, so the test would probably kill her and her babies. And she doesn't want to take the oaths until she knows that the tightening of the skin that happens, the little Botox injection that all the Aes Sedai get, that isn't going to tighten her belly to the point where the babies can't keep growing and that they die in the womb.
What? That is... What?
It's a joke version of what actually happened.
Oh, I was...
She doesn't want to take the oath rod without knowing whether or not it's going to affect her kids.
Oh, okay. I was like, the skin tightening. Where did you get that from?
I was making a joke.
Gotcha.
I just wanted to talk about the Botox. So then Alviarin and Talva attack. Talva is attacking Egwayne from the front. Alviarin is attacking Egwayne from the back. It is a porno on Pornhub that you can go watch now. Just Google spit roasting strap-on. Or strap-on spit roast would probably be better.
Egwayne is waiting for Alviarin to come on her from behind.
Yes. Yeah. But instead she dodges the come from behind and it gets all over Talva, and Talva is burnt to death because Alviarin came on her from the front. If Talva had spun around before she came on her from behind, it would have been fine.
Talva fucked up?
So Talva is dead. Nynaeve and them go to meet, say they're going to meet elsewhere next time, and Egwayne goes back to the weird hill that she stands on to be like, I'm going to find Masana. Chapter done. Boom. Look at that.
Nailed it.
Fucking nailed it. It's great. I like that Alviarin's still alive. I think that she's kind of an interesting villain.
Yeah.
This is chapter 15. Use a pebble. We get some really fucking freaky deaky shit when Naef and Nynaeve are... Guys, there was so much reading this week. Holy fuck.
Yeah, they had to deal with a bubble of evil.
This chapter is amazing too.
It's so good. It turned everything to dust.
But it was like Pompeii dust, where it's still... But as soon as you touch it...
Yeah.
And so they start... This is so dark. But they start flapping their wings and blowing. You know what I mean? They just start gusting. They have Pidgey cast gust.
Yeah.
And they burst all of the people who are now dead. And then she's...
Easy cleanup, though.
But we're sitting...
have blood stains out.
We were sitting reading downstairs, and I was like, oh my god, a new superpower. Naef can see Murdral. This is so cool.
He's got a talent. Oh, wow, that's fascinating.
I was so fucking excited about Naef being able to see Murdral. I was like, this is a cool superpower. Mm-hmm. I love that this guy... No, it's not that. It's not that.
Honestly, this was way cooler. This was so much cooler.
It's cooler for Nynaeve, but it is one of the Wonder Girls, again, unlocking a new power,
Yeah, I just mean that, the Murdral, wouldn't be, spine... it just, it would, like, seem kind of weird if that were the case. I'd be like, why are they just, like, hanging around?
For sure.
But no, they're not. He's lost a little bit, and then he was like, wow, that's really sad. Wait a second. Hold the fucking phone. And he's like, and, like, takes the little, like, pics.
But I like, the reason why this feels different than some of the, like, other Wonder Girl stuff is because the direct line from Rand teaching her how to remove the compulsion to her getting better at the compulsion against Grandel's compulsion.
Yes.
That was Delana's compulsion. To the, this is like compulsion in a way. Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
Very
right?
cool.
And so, like, I actually really liked the way she lifted this. And then Nae'f is like, holy fuck. I can see clearly now. I can live my life. Like, I'm like, yeah. Gone. And so unlike some of the other stuff where it's like, like, remember when Avienda was like, oh yeah, no, I can just touch Tarong girls and know what they do? Yeah,
that feels a little Wonder Girly. This feels narratively
the way we got here
relevant.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And I really liked
cool.
it.
And
this scene was great. You were behind me, and I literally was like, other guys was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I was like, why?
She's like, what? I was like, I can't tell you. It's really cool when you get there.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like,
so then she goes to Rand and is like, Rand, come here. Give me those cheeks. And there is even more of that black thorny bramble in his head. It kind of reminded me, do you remember way back in the beginning, this might be weird, but when they were first learning how to channel, like 10 books ago, the black thorniness in their brain reminds me so much of the way that they described the flower that Nynaeve was trying to make. How the other girls would make a flower, and every time Nynaeve would try, it would be like a black prickly bramble bush. And it was interesting to me that, like, the imagery of the dark black spikes in the men's heads seems descriptively so similar to Nynaeve's block from the early books.
Wow.
And the difficulty that she was having mentally trying to, like,
what a
channel.
Good pull. That was great.
Yeah? Does that make sense?
No, that's really cool. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because she couldn't, like, she saw it as, like, the thorns, right?
Yeah.
And so the fact that those thorns have come back in this, like, mental image here is, I like the parallel of those things, that it was the thing holding her back, and it's also the thing holding the men back here.
Yeah, it's like the Dark One's compulsion, basically.
And the fact that she... The fact that she overcame that bramble bush and is now overcoming this bramble bush, I think is really... there's like Nynaeve is getting so much narrative arc in this series.
Yeah.
And I like the way that a lot of her stuff ties back to her early stuff really well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's really cool. I love that. Did not cross my mind, but I fucking love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rand can't be healed. It's too much. It's too vast.
But also doesn't need to be.
Well, no, his brain is like is light, so the thing doesn't. I don't know.
It reminded me of the angels from Diablo. Like, their wings are these, like, tendrils of light that, like, surround them.
Oh, yeah. Rand's brain is light, so thorns can't pierce light, I guess. He doesn't need to be healed, but, like, wouldn't have been able to have been even if he hadn't done it himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Nynaeve wouldn't have been able to help him. He had to, it's an interesting visual.
Yeah. And so Rand is like, nah, I'm good. It's all right.
Don't worry about me.
But she's like, look, I've got to go to the White Tower. And he's like, I figured this was coming. Try and tell her not to kill me.
Yeah, and also, I would love to have you back and be at the last battle with you.
Oh, yeah, he's like, I don't know who the other person on calendar is going to be, but I want you to be one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, and we are going to go, he is going to go save Lan.
Yes, he's not going to abandon Lan.
Yeah, but we're not going there first. We're going somewhere else first, because Delatoral needs help, which is definitely the first place they're going.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. There's no way they bring up the Rodell stuff and this stuff so close together, and it's not, you know. Egwayne, we cut to Egwayne. She's having a meeting to learn what they've discovered about Masana.
Yeah, we get some, like, personality breakdown of Masana. You are convinced it's Laris.
Yes, because in this section, the girls are like, we found out that Masana was the one who was always willing to get her hands dirty.
Yep.
And I was like, you fucking idiots are so convinced that Aes Sedai are the fucking tits that you're missing the forest for the trees
I'm with you now. I think like Laris makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The one thing about this like section that I found really interesting is it's actually way easier to circumvent the oaths than people thought, because you can just put you can say something and have other people hear other things.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, yeah. If people find out how to do that weave, they fucked.
Yeah.
So that's fun, I guess.
Yeah. But this is really just Masana. It's literally just Masana information. So we're gonna say they find out about Masana. She is the one who is the most angry because she's actually
from Demandred.
the Hulk. Well, he's the Hulk and she's She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Chapter 16, Shanahar. Y'all, holy shit. Perrin and Perrin fucking communicate. What the fuck was this?
Perrin and Perrin.
Faile and Perrin.
Perrin and Perrin.
That hot. She could teach him a couple of things.
Probably.
Faile is running around and she goes to talk to Berlain. And she's like, let me in. And the guard's like, we knew this was coming. Go on in.
Yeah.
And Berlain is like, look, fuck you. And the thing about this conversation that worked for me is that Faile is like, oh shit, she thought I was gonna die, and she doesn't know what to do now that I'm alive.
Yeah, she overplayed her hand a little bit, and now she's a little bit screwed. And Faile's like, I understand what Berlain's strengths are, and they're not exactly mine, and so I'm going to use that to my advantage. Berlain, you have to duel me. One of us is gonna die. Or you can fix this because you're better at that than I am, and you have to be the one to do it. And Berlain's okay, well, I guess we'll have to be friends. And I'm going to have to go fuck somebody else. Who do you think she's going to start dating?
Faile. They're going to throuple.
No.
Yeah, it's the easiest solution to their problem is for them to throuple up. Why not? They're all hot. They would be the leaders of 3 nations.
Look, I would love that for me, but I don't think that
all I'm
happens.
saying is Berlain and Faile, like Berlain gets down on her knees at the end of the scene and laps that pussy as an apology. She gets Faile all warmed up for Shanahar with some deft tongue action.
Gotcha. She's probably good at that.
Throupling up is the easiest solution to their problem. Be like, no, he didn't cheat. It was polyamory. Rand's polyamorous. Matt wants to be polyamorous because fuck does he not love his wife as much as he's trying to convince himself he does. And Perrin, you know what? Perrin's got enough dick for 2 girls. Probably 5 girls. Honestly. Women.
I think that Perrin and Galad come to terms with one another, and Berlain starts dating Galad.
Oh.
And that the White Cloak's new home is in Maine, which gives Maine the power.
Is in Maine.
Is in
Maine.
Maine.
Maine is a different place.
Maine, whatever.
Maine is where the Florida people go to feel cold.
No, I think Berlain Galad ship, because Berlain is also very, very, very beautiful, and Galad is very, very, very beautiful. And I don't think the White Cloaks get like exterminated, but I do think that they rebuild and they have their own like land to do so. And I think maybe that's Maine.
I like Galad and Berlain together. They're both awful. They deserve each other.
Well, they both have some redemptive qualities.
Can you imagine? No, actually, no, it wouldn't work. Can you imagine Berlain just like she would be the top in that relationship?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. I just can't imagine that Galad would
like
ever be able to loosen his asshole enough to get pegged.
Yeah, but you don't have to get pegged to be the bottom.
I actually don't know what kind of strap-ons they had in this time, so maybe it wouldn't work. But
yeah, they'd have to figure out the logistics of that.
They'd be hot though. I would watch them have sex for sure.
Very beautiful couple.
Yeah. But so no, Berlain, they don't throuple up. Berlain's like, we have to be friends. And Faile's like, I would do anything with Perrin, including hang out with someone that he kind of started to like. So actually, I don't think this is going to be as hard as they're making it out to be.
Yeah. No, I think that Faile is going to like, if Faile already respects Berlain in certain ways, I think it's already good.
Galad would get pegged if it was the right thing to do. King of Persia says Galad already has a stick up his ass. I know, but that's why you couldn't fit something next to it. It's already, the hole is taken.
Be a lot of work.
So then Faile leaves and goes to the quartermaster and is like, hey, you stealing my shit? And quartermaster's like, nah. And she's like, all right, don't steal my shit. I got shit to do. Don't fuck me, Gil.
Very strange what's going on here. Must be a coincidence.
Yeah, I liked this scene a lot. I thought it was good. And I think it showed Faile having that moment of realization where she's like, oh, I'm grateful for what my parents taught me. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think I would enjoy it this much.
Yeah.
I really, I like that they slowed down and showed Faile, like this really showed the growth that she's experienced.
Faile sees her own growth and like, what was I thinking running away?
Yeah.
Like, I know why I did it, but like, well, sure. But also that she's like, that selfishness was like really unbecoming, and watching her mature in this chapter was great.
But if she hadn't done that and she'd just been a spoiled person who stayed there, she might not have been the right person to lead.
Yeah.
And by running away and by having to figure it out on her own, she became the right person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. The character has really become a lot more interesting.
Yeah. So we cut over to Perrin, and Perrin is pulled to the top of a hill with Faile there, and she's like, look, we celebrate our anniversary in Saldea, but you don't. They call it Shaharin.
Shanahar.
Shanahar?
Yeah.
Sure, whatever.
Shanahar.
The Shannara Chronicles.
In the summer of the year that you got married, you celebrate your anniversary.
Yeah, because who wants to celebrate in the fucking winter?
No, I get it.
Ours is in the fall. We have a good anniversary.
Yeah,
it's not too hot.
September's nice. Yeah. She was like, we're going to have to change this in the Two Rivers. You guys need to have Shanahar. This is unacceptable.
And Sean says this half felt like Sanderson being like, I hate Faile, so I'm going to fix her by making it explicit she hates the old version. I don't know. I feel like he writes her character growth really well here.
Yeah,
and like the explanation for it.
It's not forced, but I definitely feel where you're coming from.
So Faile and Perrin sit down and they have a picnic biscuit. Yeah. And Perrin is like, look, I'm going to be honest with you for the first time ever, a year into our marriage.
Yeah.
And Faile's like, look, I'm going to be honest with you for the first time since we left Malden. And it's the reason why this episode is called Wait, They Communicate Now.
It's beautiful.
This was good shit.
Communication is sexy.
It took Perrin 13 novels to tell somebody about his wolf shit.
Yeah.
We've read 4 million words, and the man has gotten married, and he finally told someone about the wolf shit. And I was like, fucking finally.
Yeah, it was great. It was fucking awesome.
And
they talk about, the Two Rivers thing of like, Perrin, like, you're a lord, and Perrin's like, is she a blacksmith's wife? And Faile's like, I'll do whatever you want. Like, I will do anything for you. Mm-hmm. But is this really what you want?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But also Perrin, I like Perrin is analyzing his own anxieties about the... Mm-hmm. He's analyzing his own anxieties about not being the Lord, about having to pass that on to somebody else, and what if they aren't willing to do what he's willing to do?
Yeah.
Right? And I think that, this makes an argument that I think is very antiquated, because it doesn't fit into modern times in any way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do think it fits into these times where I think that people needed leadership. And I don't know that, like, democracy was the easiest thing to maintain in this time, right? And so I think that, like, whether or not lords and ladies are necessary, I don't know that I agree with that. But I think that when the system is working, there is a version of it that does work. But you need someone like Perrin to be the Lord, who is going to take care of everyone, who does care about the people individually as well as a whole.
Yeah.
And I think that Faile makes an argument for the version of monarchy that can work, even though it inevitably always is corrupted into something else.
Yeah.
Which is clearly what's happened at the High Lords of Tyr before Rand, or Elaine, or Kyrian was a whole other mess.
That's true.
There wasn't a lot of corruption because they keep killing themselves.
Thrones shit, yeah.
And so, like, I don't necessarily agree with Faile's worldview, but I do think that there is a version of a worldview that does work. And if I was going to follow someone, I would rather follow a Perrin than a Weramon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, God.
And so, I don't know. I think that the argument she makes here is really strong, and Perrin's reaction to it is fascinating and well-reasoned and very in character. And I like that he saves Hopper for last, and the way that, Brandon Sanderson writes that is really, really well done.
Yeah, 1,000%. This chapter was, like, beautiful.
Ian Flynn says, thank you for that super chat. Thank you. This was the point where I actually finally started to like Faile and Perrin.
Yeah.
It's the point where they actually have a real relationship.
Well, and it's also the point where Faile's like, oh, I've asked a lot of you and made you very uncomfortable, so I'm gonna try and adjust for you now.
Yeah.
Right? She makes Perrin yell at her and shit and stuff that he's very uncomfortable with, and finally decides to actually give in the relationship a bit too, which helps a lot. there was felt like a little bit of like saving it almost because they did not work for it. We've talked about this and we don't need to go into it, but yeah, I was like, I fucking hate this.
It's because the relationship has been very toxic and unhealthy until now.
Yes.
Right? And so the necessity of their honesty means that they are finally actually doing the thing that they've said they've done over and over again.
Yeah.
You cannot have a relationship without honesty. You just can't. It isn't possible, right? You cannot have a relationship built on lies and on secrets. Mm-hmm. It will implode eventually, 100% of the time. And this is the point where their relationship finally becomes honest and finally they finally understand each other for real. Yep. Even in that scene where, in the Verlaine scene where Faile's like, you don't understand Perrin at all. Faile truly did not understand Perrin until he was honest about his time in the wolf dream to her here. Yeah. Like, you have to know your partner like that, and you have to be able to share with your partner like that in order to have a really strong relationship. Because otherwise, you end up in the fucking Stone of Tear with your wife not talking to you for 3 days because a woman is stalking you. And, like, that it's an unhealthy and toxic relationship that they had, and I feel like they finally don't have that. Yeah. And it's because they communicated.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
And look, Faile doesn't share every detail about Malden, but she shares enough that Perrin gets the gist, and he knows that he gets it, and he doesn't need to pry further because
he understands, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so this scene to me was fucking incredible, and I love that they do what Tam and his wife did. I love Tam's influence because Faile never got to meet Perrin's parents, right? Yeah. And so I love Tam's influence on so many of the things going on in the world right now. It is weird that Tam is still with them because he's like, the timeline of this is so strange because Tam is like down the hill, but we know that he's whatever.
With Rand, I know, yeah.
But this scene was beautiful and it like really, really, really brought so much heart and warmth to their relationship for me. And I'm so grateful for it because I love Perrin, and I've kind of hated this relationship. Yeah. In that I think that it sets a bad example for what a relationship should be, and now I'm like, okay, finally. Yeah. It took a lot of trauma to get them to fucking do it.
Yeah. We got there eventually, and that's better late than never, you know? I'll take it.
Tuber says, hopping in late, but Jesus Christ, nerdy, it's okay to be wrong sometimes. I'm not wrong about it. Uh-huh. I'm still right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You don't have to be so condescending.
I'm just saying, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's literally no evidence for.
We don't have time. We don't have time. Next chapter 17.
Oh, and then they fuck out in the open all night long.
They fuck hard.
While multiple people of Chop Faile sat at the bottom of the hill listening, which I think
hilarious. Yeah.
How do we smut corner this? Like, there's so much sense.
There's already smut in here. We don't need to add.
But not for Matt, because he's married. Towers of Midnight, chapter 17. Oh my god, we still have 4 chapters left. Partings and a meeting. Matt sees everyone off. They leave for Tarvalon. He gives Jolene a basket of sweet buns. You're like, oh, that's cute. And then Tom's like, what did you do? And he's like, there's fucking poison in them that is going to turn her mouth blue.
I mean, not poison. She's not going to die.
But it's still a form of poison.
Yeah, he played.
If it turns her mouth blue for 3 days.
No, he said a week, maybe 2, and that's 20 days in Randland time.
That's poison. At that point, you've poisoned somebody.
Yeah.
Not murderously, but they're poisoned.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it felt very Matt. Not gonna lie. But yeah, everyone leaves Matt. All the Aes Sedai go. Sita, Bethman go. They're like, hey, maybe one day you can convince Tuon that, you know, she can also channel. That's going to be a weird conversation. Bail Doman and Egwayne leave.
Thank God.
Yeah, I'm kind of over it.
I like them, but I'm tired of their relationship with Matt.
Yes.
Unless it's going to advance and become different, them getting away from Matt is the best thing to happen to them in these books. Yeah. Who stays? Satel and An.
Yeah. Yeah, she's hanging out.
And Matt's like, oh my god, this woman is trying to run my kitchen. And then they have a kind of sweet conversation. And he's like, oh my god, this woman is trying to not be there when they leave. I'm an asshole.
Yeah. Anyways, he's like, can you watch over for me?
Christian Rapper says Jolene can channel so she can just magic it away. I don't know that she can. She's not a yellow. There's no yellow with them. And
I wonder how
I don't know if they would know a weave for that, right?
Maybe she'll figure it out. Maybe that'll be her spark to start being innovative and contribute to society.
Not be terrible, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. Matt asks Satal to watch Ulver.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want Ulver to die.
Yeah.
Because he's
Fair.
a good person. He's just a little bit too horny.
Yep. Yep.
Because I don't think Matt knows that masturbation exists. And I think that his dad was trying. I think his dad taught him the quarterstaff, hoping that he would get that he's supposed to play with his own staff. But Matt is so literal that he never took the euphemism of it, and so he never learned how to play with his own little quarterstaff.
Jesus Christ.
And so he's just horny all the time because he does not masturbate, and it's sad, honestly.
Yeah, very
it's
sad.
Tragic.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, and they'll get our musical theater references.
And so they're going to she's going to watch over Ulver until they have gateways, and so that he can send Satal to go find her husband in Ilion, because he's just there waiting. He's chilling. He's like,
hanging out.
Donde está my wife?
Then we get Elaine's point of view.
Yeah.
She's hanging out in the garden, and Brigitte is like, somebody could kill you, right? She's like, no, Min said my babies are going to be born healthy. And she's like, yeah, your babies can still be born if you lose all your limbs.
Or if you get hit on the head and become a
vegetable. Yeah, literally. I was like, you know what? Fair point.
Yeah.
Fair fucking point. So yeah, Elaine meets with the kin. Fascinating. She's like starting her own White Tower, but not the White Tower, but like.
But she's in the White Tower, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think Elaine ever becomes Aes Sedai?
She is Aes Sedai.
But do you think she goes and does the trial? Or I don't know. I get the vibe that Elaine is never going to actually go through with it. I think that with the Rand, the babies, the kingdoms, I don't know. I get a weird vibe from Elaine in these chapters where there's the literal yes, I don't want to because of I can't channel right now. But I think that as Egwayne and Rand go more and more head to head, which I think is going to happen before we get to the last battle, I think Elaine. I think Elaine is more on Rand's side in that. I also think Nynaeve is more on Rand's side in that. And once Moiraine is back, I don't think they're going to stand against Rand with Egwayne. And I think that all of them together are going to push Egwayne to work on Elaine's side. But I don't know. I'm getting the vibe that Elaine. I don't think Elaine makes it to that. I also think that Elaine is going to be very physically hurt soon.
Yeah.
There's so much foreshadowing, and they're like, my babies are going to be fine. I can be reckless.
Yeah,
She's going to be reckless before babies are born, and something's going to happen.
Yeah, there's going to be an issue for sure. But it's weird because what she's doing is it's pretty big brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's like, no, you're going to stay here so that you have a home, you have a place to be, but you're going to help us with healing and traveling. Obviously not with war, but you're going to help me get the Sun Throne.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what this is. You're going to get me the Sun Throne. And then we're kind of going to maybe work together for in perpetuity.
I understand now why Robert Jordan sent away Avienda. Because if Avienda's here, all of this is kind of meaningless.
Why?
Because Avienda could make the gateways for her right now. She wouldn't be. It wouldn't be as I need people now. But because she can't channel right now while she's pregnant, and Avienda's not there, she has to kind of do this. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no,
it's an interesting conversation. I do like that they're we don't want to fight. I also like the Samiko's I don't want to do this. And Elise is that's fine. Go to the White Tower and be an Aes Sedai. I don't want to go there. They're not going to let me in.
I wouldn't have them. They wouldn't have me.
Samiko, we're not a monolith. We have different opinions on things, and you and I are not going down the same road here. And I thought that was a really interesting way to frame this conversation.
Yeah, it was great. Having them both there made it just more interesting. So they're going to talk to Egwayne about it, maybe set that up.
And Elaine ends the chapter with the dark thought, if Rand dies, I think I can take over the Black Tower. Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yup.
There's a world where Rand dies and Elaine, there's a sequel series where there's the dragon Rethird, and he has to take down Elaine, who has become the Arthur Hawkwing, the evil tyrant Arthur Hawkwing.
Oh my god.
It would be great too. Elaine and her 2 children, the 3 channelers, and they're just fucking taking over everything.
That would be bonkers.
Tuon, Matt, and Perrin have to take out Elaine.
Love it. Elaine becomes the Dark One.
The Dark Lady.
In place of the Dark Lord, you shall have a queen.
Oh, that's it.
She goes full Galadriel. Except Galadriel makes the right choice, so.
Elaine the Conqueror. Yeah.
Hilarious. No, I love it.
The mother of dragons. That's what she calls her kids. That's funny. Who wrote that? Elgage inspired that. Ashadrai says she's creating a post office and national health care for Andor. It always starts with a post office and national health care, Ashadrai.
Of course.
Yeah.
Chapter 18, The Strength of This Place.
There was peace before the Andor nation attacked.
Elaine Fear.
Elaine Fear!
Hilarious.
Maybe Elaine is Demandred.
Demandred got pregnant.
It's all fake.
No.
Elaine is Demandred, you guys.
No.
He's ruling. He was so jealous of Rand that he tricked Rand into fucking him. What if Elaine is Demandred?
Oh my god.
Tigraine is actually the mother of the dragon. That is true.
That's true.
Chapter 18, The Strength of This Place.
We get Perrin. Perrin's wolfing in the wolf dream.
Perrin hangs out with Hopper, and Hopper finally is like, oh, fine, I'll talk to you in a way that you understand.
And I love that Perrin is like, wow, I never used this skill when Faile was captured. Why did I not think about that? That's really awkward.
I think because he was like scared to go full wolf at the time, right? Because he felt like he was losing himself.
Yeah, but it didn't even occur to him.
But this is the first time where he's like, oh, like if I think about Faile, it brings me back. Because Hopper takes him to the two rivers to be like, this is the place that grounds you. And Perrin has that big moment that we all have at some point in our life. Like this is that coming of age story shit where you're like for me, Calgary, I don't think of Calgary as home anymore.
No.
Right?
No. He's like, no, Faile is my home.
Yeah.
So he can't be there too strongly. Hopper's like trying to explain this to Perrin, and I was kind of with Perrin here. I was like, I don't really get it, but sure.
No, I get it. I understand it. Because I don't care where we live. I just want to be with you, right?
No,
not
and that's that. Not that. I mean I mean like the other stuff. Like there's like the wrongness, and then the like how he's supposed to use the wolf dream. I get the being grounded where the
Hopper is trying to explain the same shit that Amisim Bayer explained to Egwayne, but he's a wolf, so he can't do it properly. Like Perrin needs to go talk to the wise ones and learn about Tel'aran'rhiod Riyadh properly from a human being who can explain it to him in words that he will understand.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because Perrin is like, Hopper, I don't understand these images. I just need you to tell me. And then when Hopper starts to try and use his words, it works almost immediately. This is a case of it isn't Perrin's fault. This is a teacher trying to teach from their perspective and not understanding the needs of the student. Hopper fails Perrin for books, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And like this is the thing that teachers need to learn, is that you have to communicate with your students in a way that helps them understand the material, not expect your students to understand what you're saying because it's how you understand it.
Yeah. What do you think the violet wall is?
I have no idea.
Is that Slayer?
There's weird shit going on in Tel'aran'rhiod Riyadh everywhere.
Fair. All right, fair.
No, Slayer just appears there as Slayer.
Yeah.
Because we know because Perrin has chased Slayer through Tel'aran'rhiod Riyadh before.
Yeah, I just mean like, I don't know what it is. Ituralde is having a bad time.
No, he's having a great time.
No, he's having a very bad day.
What are you talking about?
It is raining
Ituralde
Trollocs.
is chilling. Nothing bad is happening.
It's raining Trollocs.
The teacher's a wolf. Cut him some slack. I don't cut anybody slack. Have you met me? I find hills and I die on them, Arzu.
We noticed that.
There is only one letter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got whoever said that in chat earlier. This will come back. This is gonna be a running gag till I die.
God damn it.
On my deathbed, I'm gonna grab you because I'm gonna die first, and I'm gonna go. There was only one letter.
Those will be your last words.
There's always money in the banana stand, and then I'll die.
Jesus Christ. Hopper sent 2 letters. Oh my god.
So then Ituralde, he's having a bad time. He's like, Rand fucking told me he was coming and he's not here. The city behind him won't let him in because they're dum-dums. And this is where, like...
There are 4 lights. Good pull.
This is where the difference between how Brandon Sanderson and Robert Jordan writes War is very interesting. Because Brandon Sanderson does not write the fog of war. Robert Jordan always wrote and then 5 minutes after the battle, this is our characters talking about what had just happened.
No.
Other than a few instances.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are a lot of it was flashes of the war with general kind of discussions about it.
Yeah.
Whereas Brandon Sanderson writes very specific strategies and things that are happening. And this is one of the coolest ones where he's like, wait.
He's like, why are the Trollocs falling from the sky? Oh, wait, it's to hide the fucking drag car.
Yes. And even
Bonkers.
like Pegleg is like it's to demoralize us. And Rodell's like, yeah, but
that seems weird.
you would do that on like day 3. They would start with small stones like the Beast Titan. And
to actually like
they
injure them.
don't, yeah. And it's to hide the drag car. And like when the drag car drops and it's to hide the drag car, I was like, oh, this is the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was fucking vibrating, guys. You know how much I love to vibrate. And I was vibrating in my chair just like, fuck yes! Brandon Sanderson making this shit cool!
Yeah.
Let's go!
Yeah, that was rad. And basically this chapter is for him to be like, we're in trouble, we need Rand to hold his promise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very, 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 very cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Which means Rand is definitely coming. We cut to Faile.
Oh shit, we did this out of order.
Oh, this is where Faile talks to Bear Lane.
We got ahead of ourselves.
Whatever. You guys know how we feel about it. It was a good, I like how Faile comes out in that chapter.
Sorry.
No, it's good because we don't have time. Chapter 19, Towers of Midnight. I wish we didn't have a heart out, y'all. But
we got a con to go to. See my shield? It's so pretty. People need to look at it.
Yeah, Daniel Short says, each week another thing Nerdy will love when he gets around to reading Sanderson. Look, I like his writing. I'm not going to lie. It really works for me. Yeah. I don't know if it works for everybody, but it really works for me. And I love the way that he writes these books, other than Matt. Honestly.
Yeah, that's fair.
So let's talk about Matt. Chapter 19, Talk of Dragons.
We have another meeting.
But not Talk of the Dragon.
People talking.
Mm-hmm.
People listening to one another. It's great. Oliver is like, hey, Matt, I think I figured out this thing. Maybe we need to, like, strategize. You know, like, we need to, like, make sure that we can beat the snakes and foxes when I'm there. And Matt's like, yeah, sure, whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. So they go to the castle.
Yeah, Matt is not dressed super nice and looks like shit because, what's his dude died.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Knowles. Knowles the other guy. Lopin. Sorry, I was like, I don't know. Lopin is dead, so Matt can't take care of himself and doesn't know how to dress to meet Elaine. Tom's looking fucking sharp. Talmaines has got his fucking best jacket, best suit on. It's great. They ride into Camlin and people are like pointing and staring because the band has a reputation. Yeah, and so they meet with Elaine. And Elaine is definitely pregnant. She starts crying. She goes to meet Tom. She's like, Tom, it's good to see you. They have a nice moment. Matt is very confused. And then they kind of explain what happened with Abu Dar, how they got away, and Brigitte's like, it's over, okay? They're like, yeah, it's fine. What you looking for?
Just to see if there's anything about the letter.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm kidding. No, he meets with Gaibon on the way in. And Gaibon is like sussing him out and is like, so I've heard some things about you. And he's like, that's a lie. That's true. That's a lie. That's true.
That's closer to the truth than I
want
it to be.
He's like, you were hung by the devil for answers about your life. And he's like, no, not me. That didn't happen.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
He's like, how the fuck did people hear about that?
Yeah, I don't know how that rumor started. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so...
people are very imaginative.
They go in to have a conversation, and Matt is like, oh my god, she's gonna be fucking unbearable. But no, she's great. She runs over and hugs Tom. She's being sweet. She's swearing for the first time in all of the books.
What? No.
Yeah, because remember earlier she was like, I need to listen to Matt swear because I want to learn how to do it. And then this, she's like actually swearing.
She was like, trying to swear in the camp and it was like awkward. Like she was putting the wrong swears in the wrong places.
Right, but she's like got it down now.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that she learned it from paying attention to him.
Hey Matt, I heard you were hung. Matt's like, yeah, that's right.
He's got a big cock. And so she's like, they negotiate over the dragons and I liked it. I really liked the negotiation. They're both making good points.
Yeah, good points, good banter, good compromise. Matt's like, okay, I'm gonna like let you see the medallion and look at it, and he's like
3 days.
Yeah.
So Matt is in danger.
He's like, God, I really hope that she can't find a way to like circumvent this. And Elaine's like, no, I'm gonna try and find a way to duplicate this. And Matt's like, so by the way, the Golem is here. Let's.
But it's interesting, right? Because there being more of those doesn't hurt Matt at all. Matt does not use Isodyne fighting the way that Perrin and Rand and the Dark One do.
Yeah.
And so for him, he's like, oh yeah, if everyone is immune to channeling, then no one's going to channel and the fight becomes fair, right? And
we can kill the golem.
Yeah, and I find that really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that they can make an actual weapon out of it instead of just like a necklace. That I really don't understand how Matt was planning on killing the golem with a necklace.
Yeah, I mean...
Unless he plans on Harry Pottering it and like grabbing him by the face.
Well, I thought maybe you'd make him swallow it.
Oh, I was about to spoil Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not going to do that. I was going to make a joke that I won't make.
Don't do that. Or shove it up his booty hole. Just like right
the
up
Thanos
there.
approach.
Yeah, the Thanos. Yeah. With the fox head. And the fox head, it's got ears. It's probably sharp. I imagine, to me, honestly, it looks like the Witcher wolf symbol.
I know. I can't. I'm just picturing Matt fisting a golem.
A golem? Yeah. An unassuming blonde dude.
This show is so weird. Our show.
Oh, our
shit
show.
We talk about.
Our show is weird, yes. Correct.
The things that this show makes me think about are so strange.
I mean...
We didn't make as much money today from people who hate us about our Attack on Titan stuff, though, and that's sad.
Oh, no. It's so sad.
I was hoping they would come and give me more of their cash.
It's very disappointing, yes.
Yeah. So...
Oh, we were gonna... we have to figure out a date to go on our Shanahan, whatever that was called. Will you take me on a picnic for our anniversary?
No. So that's the end of the chapter. They make some agreements, and Elaine promises... okay, how about this? Okay, how about we compromise? All right, I will take you on the greatest picnic ever to be picnicked. If you admit that there was only one letter.
No.
Well then, no picnic.
No picnic. All right, you heard it here first.
I just like eating at tables. You know what I mean?
Fair. You know what?
I don't love sitting on the ground picking ants out of my food.
Why are you letting ants get in your food? You're doing a picnic wrong. You eat fast.
Arisu, thank you for gifting 5 memberships.
Thank you for the memberships. Let's go.
Oh, I'll eat at a table. I'm just like, the whole, like, let's sit on the ground uncomfortably and try and, like, hold ourselves up with one arm while we eat our food with the other arm. It's like... I
mean, Aiel lie down when they eat, so...
Yeah, and you know what? That's terrible for your digestion.
I don't know.
No, I mean, like, it literally is. Like, lying down on your stomach and eating is bad for your... Like, because as humans, we know that.
How do you know?
Because of the way that your body works.
Tried it.
You are putting so much pressure on your esophagus to push food down against gravity.
Doing this. You're up like this.
You're sphinx posing while you eat?
Yes.
You're not supposed to have your abs engaged while you're consuming food.
No, that's how they stay so fucking fit. That's why their waists are snatched.
I know, but their digestion is a problem.
You don't know that. They probably poop regularly.
My point is that Elaine offers Tom a full pardon for crimes known and unknown.
Yeah, and he was like, how did Elaine know about... never mind. I was like, what?
Intrepid Craig McGill, thank you so much for that super chat in lieu of Attack Titan fans.
Thank you for the super duper chat. Appreciate it.
And Elaine invites them to dinner.
We could go have a picnic at a picnic table.
Yeah, or we could go to a restaurant and be wined and dined.
All right, as long as you spoil me.
I'm kidding, obviously. I'll go have a picnic with you. I'm joking for the show. I'm more than happy to have a picnic.
Guys, we're going to go
as long as we have my favorite kind of sandwich.
Which is basil.
Chicken. Mozzarella.
Yes.
Pesto.
Yeah.
Toasted pieces of bread with a little bit of butter on them. The pesto in between the mozzarella and the chicken.
People need to use butter more as like the
instead of mayonnaise.
Instead of fucking mayonnaise. Yeah. Get mayonnaise off of everything. I fucking hate it.
You don't need to put mayonnaise on your bread. You just put a little bit of butter on toasted bread and you're good to go.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
It's like lubing up your sandwich and in a not fun way. Too much lube.
Chicken Iteralda mozzarella. I don't know why that's so funny. That's a t-shirt. Chicken Iteralda mozzarella. And it's just like a little like mozzarella man with a sword and a chicken hat.
A chicken hat.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like a chicken breast fedora.
Oh my god. Chapter 20, a choice. That was a choice, babe. That was a choice. This whole book club is a fucking choice. Anyways.
Talk them through it, babe.
Nynaeve does her accepted the Aes Sedai test and nearly fails, but then doesn't. Anyways, thank you for a wonderful book club.
Fuck you. So Nynaeve is like, yo, what the fuck? I'm not moving my ring, which was cool. She's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to make the Imerlin a liar. And Rozilla's like, respect.
Yeah.
And so the test starts, and Nynaeve has to do her 100 weaves.
Changes the words a little bit, to
not make the Imerlin a liar. She establishes well. Nynaeve's big brain here.
While also being obstinate on purpose. It is a bit of both.
I don't think that's it.
No, it's a bit of both.
I think that she's being...
Both.
I think she's in the right.
I think she's in the right, but I think that part of it was a little spiteful. A little bit.
See, it's interesting because I don't think so. I don't think she gives a fuck about them.
Yeah.
I think that her integrity is more important. I don't think she's being petty, right? I think she's like, no, my integrity...
A little bit. But that's what I like about Nynaeve. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm kind of into it. So it works. I don't say that as a negative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that all of these things can be true.
And so she goes into the test and she starts weaving. She's making baskets like fucking crazy. And she immediately starts running into the problem of wanting to save people because she's not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And she doesn't ignore them.
Yeah.
And
there's children dying and she's like, I should probably help them.
Stop picking at your Band-Aid.
No, I'm taking it off.
Oh, okay. Maybe don't take it off. And so
Sorry.
So she...
Oh, now it hurts.
Yeah.
Fucked up. Guys, fucked up. So I kept playing with it, and then I was like,
Jesus Christ. Tell me you have ADHD without telling me you have ADHD.
What?
So Nynaeve gets to a point where she's like, nah, fuck it. I'm going to do something. But she's not on the Star of David. And, well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's literally like the Jewish Star of David.
Yeah.
And she breaks the rules.
She channels before she gets to the star, which we find out she shouldn't be able to do, which she also did again in her, accepted test. She, shouldn't be allowed to channel, but she, can. Very fascinating. I don't know if Nynaeve is a talent.
No, we find out what it is.
Well, Egwayne is it's because you spent time in Tel'aran'rhiod, but she didn't spend time in Tel'aran'rhiod when she did the accepted test. She did the accepted test the moment she got to the tower because she was never a novice.
But no, the accepted test, they don't say that you can't channel.
No.
They say that you don't channel or else you will die.
They tell her afterwards, you should not have been able to channel. Because she was like, I channeled. And she was like, no, you shouldn't have been able to do that. Don't tell anyone. She's got some weird special talent. I know Egwayne explains it with the Tel'aran'rhiod stuff, but that can't be the answer to the first time it happened.
You're 100% right.
So I'm just saying there's some funky business going on.
See, chat, I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm just not wrong about the letter.
Proud of you.
So she gets to the end, and the final thing is Lan being attacked by dark hounds, and Nynaeve just starts blasting. Balefire, 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 balefire. And guess what? The world doesn't fall apart. So
it's in the dream.
Bloodied, bruised, and attacked. She pops out of the thing, and everyone is pissed. Rightfully so.
Yeah, Sean is that's the most brutal test I've ever seen. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
I know. That was surprising.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
And so she fucking, she's like, they're like, well, you shouldn't have done that. And she's like, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? What is the point of being Aes Sedai if we don't actually help people? If I can help people?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Walk away from people who need my help. Nynaeve is the only Aes Sedai who's ever passed this fucking test. Because if the test is to walk away from people to do some arbitrary bullshit,
yeah,
what the fuck is being an Aes Sedai?
She should be fucking lauded for getting it done and also saving people.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
She does it all. She says, no, fuck you. I knew I was in the test, and I saved Lan anyways because fuck your bullshit.
And because I could. And why wouldn't I do it if I could, right?
Yeah.
And this is where Brandon Sanderson feels a little bit like he's trying to acknowledge some of the flaws in the thinking of some of the earlier books that we've been complaining about through all the books, and we're like, this doesn't really, why are they like this?
Yeah, and it's called out.
Having Nynaeve come into the scene and be like, why are you like this? It was very,
yes.
I felt validated.
Oh, it was so good. I was like, fucking finally, thank you. More Prinman. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
Hello from Iceland. Hello.
Hello from Canada.
Couldn't catch you live, so we catch you up now. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here. We appreciate that.
And Nynaeve, Sean brings up in the chat, not Sean from the White Tower, but one of our Seans.
Sean in the chat.
Nynaeve should be servants of all you fucking fools. Yes. Yes. And I was like, thank God, Nynaeve has
Yep.
grown so much where she's actually kind of outgrown the Aes Sedai. I don't think she needs them.
Oh, she doesn't.
They need her. She doesn't need them.
Honestly, thought she wasn't going to become Aes Sedai.
I wanted that, honestly. But I understand why they didn't do it, but I wanted her to be like, fuck you guys. No.
I get it.
Fuck you.
I also love that Egwayne is like, remember that she is like married to a king? You know, it's kind of very...
No, it was three things.
There was three
Wait,
things,
I want to look at this because I actually love Egwene's point here. Because Egwene is kind of staying out of it, but not really.
Yeah. She's just on the fringe enough.
Mm-hmm. I would be careful. Refusing the shawl to the woman who helped cleanse the taint from Sidon, the woman who defeated Megidion herself in battle, the woman who is married to the king of Malkir would set a very dangerous precedent.
If Nynaeve didn't become Aes Sedai and went and joined the kin and ran the kin, no one would go join the Aes Sedai. They would all go fucking join Nynaeve.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. If they survive the last battle. I do also think that, like, I appreciated Egwene being like, this was kind of silly. Like, you are way beyond this test. Even Nynaeve is like, oh yeah, I'll take the test. And Egwene is like, oh, but it's like hard. And Nynaeve is like,
no, it's not. It's not hard.
I meant to screenshot it. I didn't. But
healed stilling. Yeah.
Oh, and learned how to heal silly. But no, there's the line where Elaine is like, yeah, but like you might die. And Nynaeve is like, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
And I cackled. I was like, Nynaeve is so confident. And then she shows up and she's like, dude, this isn't even... I am maybe the best channeler in the world. This isn't even hard.
Yeah.
I invent new weaves every other chapter in these books. I've come up with ways of healing they didn't have in the Age of Legends. I healed madness yesterday out of a fucking... Like, in the last 24 hours, I've done more impressive channeling shit than anyone in the White Tower has done in the last 3,000 years. Get off my back. I'm fine.
Pretty much. Loved it. Fucking loved it. So then Nynaeve is like, all right, you know what? I'm going to come in. I'm going to do the contemplating and the blah, 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 blah. But first, I have some business to fucking take care of. Mm-hmm. And she goes to Morel, and she tells Morel, you give me that fucking bond right now. And Morel's like, I'm busy. And she's like, I haven't fucking taken the oaths yet. So unless you want the spanking of a lifetime, you're going to give me that fucking bond. And Morel's like, oh, shit.
This is interesting, whatever. Though. The least interesting thing about this section, to me, is the conversation between Nynaeve and Morel.
I mean, the rest of it was so interesting.
No. I'm talking specifically about this section at the very end.
Oh.
The most interesting thing is that nothing bad has happened at the Black Tower yet. Because she gets there, and the Aes Sedai and the Warders are outside the Black Tower.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my god, when we finally see what's happened there, it's going to be a massacre. These poor women. What's going to be the situation?
Yeah.
Morel and all of the Aes Sedai are still outside.
Yeah.
And nothing terrible has happened yet. I'm grateful that Nynaeve threatened Morel. I thought that was great. I think it was awesome that
but you were like, what's going on?
The bond is passed. Fucking finally. Nynaeve feeling Lan.
And knowing he's alive.
Yes.
Like she's like,
yes,
thank
please.
you. Like, oh, it's so good.
Loved that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for me it was really the most interesting part of this was, I thought Nynaeve was going to show up and it was going to be a disaster.
A nightmare. Yeah.
Where are the Aes Sedai? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know, fucking the Mahale has done some devious shit. He hasn't yet. Yeah. And so what is going on at the Black Tower?
Yeah. Because
they haven't been in the book for a while. And I would like to know what's going on at the Black Tower, please.
My worry is that they've been compulsed or something. That there's some kind of manipulation going on here. Mm-hmm. And that those Aes Sedai might turn on their friends or something. But yeah, it does open up the gateway of okay, so everything's not on fire. Yeah. So what is going on?
But Sean brings up a good point. Just Egwene's envoys, no mention of Aleda's Aes Sedai party. That's true. We don't know what happened to the latest people.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll see.
She gave her the bond to the wrong warder.
They're just passing bonds back and forth trying to get the right one.
I would hate that.
We did it.
Crushed it with 4 minutes to spare.
Y'all, I'm not going to describe hello. We don't have time. Close. What was your high?
My high is the moment where Tam and Rand hug. Mm-hmm. It got me. It was so beautiful.
All right. My low is, honestly, Matt just being like, oh, titties. But Tom Maines would like those. The joke went on a little bit too long. And I don't know that the letter worked for me narratively. Even though I do think it's funny. But I think that it isn't a great look for Matt.
Yeah, I think the letter is my low, even though I don't think it's really like a low. There was so much good in this section.
Oh, I love this section.
But yeah, the letter might be the low, even though I don't hate it. It's just the fact that like Matt can't spell properly when he has all these memories is not my favorite. What's your high?
So the low for both of us was the singular letter that Matt wrote. My high of this week
was that particular letter, you mean?
Yes, that singular letter.
The particular letter.
It was the only one. My high for the week is definitely it's Perrin and Faile on the hill.
Fair.
That scene was really important to the series for me. I don't think Perrin and Faile, who are so important to the series, work if that scene never happens.
The printer stuff is here. It made it. Oh, thank God. This is good news, guys.
Y'all, I bought a 3D printer. I'm going to start 3D printing a resin 3D printer. Going to get some detailed shit. Oh, no, wait, that's not public yet on The Expanse. Well, check out The Expanse on Monday. We got a gift. Or if you're a Patreon, go check out the end of The Expanse video. We got a 3D printed gift from Rob Ross. That's very cool. It's in the Patreon now.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Rob Ross. But yeah, no,
Yeah, so that's here. Yeah, no, the Perrin and Faile stuff was fucking peak. Well, I don't even know if we need to add smut because Perrin and Faile added enough smut for all of us. And then you know that Min and Rand also fucking fucked the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And
Faile and Berlain.
Hopefully Matt learns to masturbate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really needs that for sure.
Yeah, I also I want the scene where all of the Aiel slowly spank Rand over the course of hours.
Everyone gets one hit for their, but the thing is there's thousands and thousands of Aiel, so it takes hours, but everyone gets one good spank.
Oh God, yeah. That's
and then
100,000
Rand
spanks.
Develops a spanking kink.
As if he doesn't already have one.
There's a lot of hot maidens spanking him. He's like, oh, this is kind of nice.
Yeah, but he likes getting spanked, but it's always by Min, and she just doesn't really lay into him. And so he's like, finally, oh my God.
God damn it.
If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave me comments down below because the algorithm goddess hungry and we must feed her. This episode of the algorithm goddess is
Faile, hungry for Berlain's pussy.
If you want to follow us on the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
And this was the Nerdy Wordy Book Club for Towers of Midnight, chapters 8 through 20. We did it before 2 o'clock. Hard out, accomplished.
Let's go.
We might have missed some stuff. I'm sorry, chat. But we'll love you all.
We'll do that in the full book recap.
James Ross, thank you for being a member of the Narcs for 10 months.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Nerd
I'm excited
table.
to see it painted after that reaction.
It's gonna be.
We will paint
kiss.
it. We probably aren't going to paint the Expanse stuff till after the relay because I have to paint so many minis for that.
You should check out the Kickstarter if you want to support that.
The Roleplay Relay Kickstarter in the description. We are less than $100 away from our first stretch goal. Thank you so much, everybody. And it's now 2 o'clock. We've got to go. If you're coming to EddieCon, see you there.
Yeah, I don't know how to end this. End poll. I win. Goodbye.
Only by 14